A knife pierced straight through my back. The blade broke through my chest and stopped at my heart. For a moment, I couldn't even feel the pain. Then it came. A wave of unbearable agony spread through my entire body as blood flooded my lungs. That I looked down at the cold blade sticking out of my chest. And behind me stood the person I trusted the most, Ruan, the woman I had protected for half a year in the apocalypse. The woman I had given everything to. The woman I thought would never betray me. I was wrong. The apocalypse had already lasted 6 months. During that time, I fought mutated beasts, killed countless zombies, and stood between her and death again and again. Whenever we found supplies, I gave her the better half. Whenever danger appeared, I was the one who stepped forward. That I thought if I gave someone my heart, they would eventually give me theirs. But in the end, the only thing I received was a knife through my heart. Why? My voice came out weak and broken. Blood spilled from the corner of my mouth. When Ruan leaned closer, her voice was soft, almost gentle, but every word felt like poison. Talbai, I'm sorry. You're a good person. But good people don't survive in the apocalypse. She pulled the knife out slowly. Then she looked at the supply chest beside me. With this high-level supply chest, I can join Zhao Tianhao's team. With his protection, I can survive. So please understand. You were always willing to sacrifice yourself for me. Isn't dying for me just another way of proving your love? My eyes widened. Rage burned through the last bit of strength I had left. Impossible. How could this happen? My awakened talent was A-ranked iron body. My body was stronger than steel. Ordinary weapons couldn't even break my skin. That a simple dagger should never have been able to pierce me. Then I saw the faint pink light gathering around Ruan's fingers, and I understood. She had never shown me her real ability. Do you really think my talent is the useless D-rank ability called relaxation? She smiled. The expression on her face was still beautiful, but there was nothing human left in her eyes. My real talent is A-rank softening. She touched my body lightly. In an instant, my entire body froze. The strongest defense I was proud of began collapsing. My bones became fragile. My muscles lost their strength. My steel-like body became as weak as ordinary flesh. Everything I relied on disappeared. Softening can affect steel. Softening can affect bones. Softening can affect anything. When Ruan picked up the supply chest, then she looked at me one last time. You were too kind, Chao Bei. You never fought for anything. You never knew how cruel people could be. Even if you survived, you wouldn't last long. So let me live instead. You love me. Then you should help me survive. After saying that, she turned around. She walked away without hesitation, leaving me lying in my own blood. My vision slowly faded. 0.6 months of protection, 0.6 months of sacrifice, 0.6 months of believing in someone who never cared about me. All of it became a joke. Kindness, love, loyalty. In the apocalypse, those things were worthless. The last thought in my mind was regret. That I was wrong, completely wrong. The apocalypse was never a place where kindness was rewarded. That a soft heart only made you someone else's stepping stone. If I ever had another chance, I would never be that pathetic person again. Anyone who betrayed me, anyone who used me, anyone who stepped on my sincerity, I would make them pay. Every single one. Blood for blood. No exceptions. I would become the person who stood above everyone else, the person who controlled my own fate. Then darkness swallowed me. But just before my consciousness disappeared, something impossible happened. The world shattered, the endless darkness twisted, and everything started rewinding. Warm sunlight touched my face. Voices filled my ears, students laughing. Footsteps moving across the campus. A normal world, a peaceful world. I suddenly opened my eyes. The pain was gone. The blood was gone. The wounds were gone. I looked at my hands. Clean. Perfect. Alive. My heart started beating faster. I grabbed my phone. The screen lit up. June 1st, 2026.4:22 p.m. I stared at the date. Then I laughed. I was reborn. And I had returned to 4 hours and 38 minutes before the apocalypse began. Tonight, at exactly 8 p.m., the world would change forever. A phenomenon called the Endless Highway would descend. 0.70 billion humans would be forcibly transported into a never-ending apocalypse world. There would be no cities. No civilization. Only endless roads. Mutated beasts, zombie hordes, limited resources, and people willing to do anything to survive. The moment the apocalypse arrived, every human would awaken a unique talent, but talent strength wasn't decided by luck. It depended on one thing: the final object you touched before the apocalypse began. In my previous life, I had awakened iron body, not because I was lucky, because right before the apocalypse arrived, I was standing on a rooftop. I was furious, desperate. I slammed my fists against a heavy iron door, and that was the last thing I touched. That talent saved my life countless times, but it also made me arrogant. It made me believe I could protect everyone, and in the end, it led me to the hands of the person who killed me. Not this time. I had one chance to rewrite everything. If I wanted revenge, if I wanted to stand above everyone, if I wanted to crush every person who betrayed me, I needed the strongest possible talent. And then I remembered something: the Dragon City Planetarium. The meteorite. A piece of rock from deep space that had recently been displayed there. According to the news, it had traveled through the universe for billions of years. It contained a mysterious energy unlike anything on Earth. A true cosmic treasure. If I touched that meteorite at the final second before the apocalypse began, I could awaken a power beyond imagination. A power no one in my previous life could compare to. The so-called elites, the powerful survivors, the people who once looked down on me, they would all fall beneath my feet. When Ruan, Zhao Tianhao, everyone who betrayed me, everyone who treated my sincerity like a joke, this time, I would make them regret it. A voice suddenly interrupted my thoughts. Xiao Bei. I turned my head. Lu Siki stood nearby. She had just rejected my confession. Her face was full of pride and impatience. What are you looking at? Did getting rejected make you lose your mind? She crossed her arms. If you apologize properly and ask again, maybe I'll consider letting you be my backup option. In the past, those words would have crushed me. I would have begged, I would have tried everything to win her attention. But now, after experiencing 6 months in hell, after dying from the betrayal of the person I loved, a meaningless romance was nothing. The apocalypse was coming soon. The entire world would become a battlefield. That time, strength was everything. I didn't even bother looking at Lu Siki again. I turned around and walked away. My voice was cold. Whoever wants to beg can beg. After tonight, the entire world will change. And I, Xiao Bei, will rewrite my destiny. My destination was clear: the Dragon City Planetarium, the alien meteorite, the ultimate opportunity waiting for me. This time, I would climb to the top of the apocalypse, and no one would ever control my fate again. I had less than 5 hours before the apocalypse began. My only goal was simple: at exactly 8 p.m., I had to touch that alien meteorite, because I knew something no one else did. The object you touched at the final moment before the apocalypse would determine your awakened talent. But there was one problem. The Dragon City Planetarium would be closed long before 8 p.m. Getting inside legally was impossible. But that didn't matter. I wasn't planning to sneak in. If someone caught me, so what? If they called the police, so what? As long as I touched that meteorite at the right moment, everything would be worth it. I took out my phone and looked at my bank balance. A pathetic number. I stared at it for a few seconds. Then I laughed. What kind of life had I lived before? Any money I earned was spent chasing after women. I gave everything. My time. My effort. My dignity. And what did I get? A knife through my heart. Never again. In this life, no one would control me. No one would use me. I opened my phone. Loan apps, credit platforms, every possible source of money. My fingers moved quickly across the screen. One transaction after another. Approved, approved, approved. A few minutes later, the final amount appeared. 100, 700 yuan. I looked at the number, then smiled. Money problem solved. Next, I needed a way to reach the planetarium. And I already knew exactly what I wanted. The Zhangxue 820RR, the motorcycle that had recently taken the internet by storm. The champion machine from the WSBK racing arena. A 3-cylinder beast that countless riders dreamed of owning. Not only was it fast, its equipment would also give me protection. More importantly, it would help me completely bury the old version of myself. The weak, obedient, desperate Xiao Bei. That person was already dead. The man walking into the apocalypse would be different. I called a ride and headed straight to the Zhangxue motorcycle dealership. The dealership was crowded. Many motorcycle enthusiasts surrounded the centerpiece of the showroom. A red Jiangxia 820RR stood there like a predator waiting to strike. Its sharp body lines, its aggressive design, its powerful three-cylinder engine. Even standing still, it dominated everything around it. That's the championship bike from WSBK. It's incredible. Too bad you need a full year of motorcycle license experience. Normal riders can only look at it. I ignored the comments and walked inside. The salesperson glanced at me. Ordinary clothes. Nothing special. He immediately lost interest. In his eyes. I didn't look like someone who could afford this machine. He was wrong. That I walked straight to the counter. I want one. Full payment. The salesperson froze. Excuse me. I said I'll take it. The current stock is very limited, he explained quickly. If you want immediate delivery, there is an additional fee. How much? 20,000. Fine. My answer was immediate. The entire showroom went quiet. Nobody expected someone who looked so ordinary to spend money without hesitation. A few hours ago, I was still the same poor idiot who wasted everything on people who didn't care about me. But now, every second mattered. I didn't have time to negotiate. After completing the purchase, I used almost all of the remaining money to buy the highest level riding equipment. A carbon fiber helmet, professional protective gear. Anti-impact, clothing, gloves, knee and elbow protection, everything. When I finished changing, I walked out wearing black riding armor. Beside me was the red Jiangxia 820RR. The contrast was striking. The timid man from my previous life was gone. The people around me looked over. Some admired the bike. Others admired the rider. For the first time in a long time, I felt like I was finally in control. Just as I prepared to leave, a sweet voice suddenly came from beside me. Handsome, you just bought such a cool motorcycle. Are you really leaving without taking me for a ride? I turned around. A showroom model stood there. She wore a stylish black outfit that perfectly showed her figure. Her expression was charming. Her eyes were full of confidence. In my previous life, I would have fallen for this instantly. A beautiful woman. A powerful motorcycle. The feeling of speed. Everything a young man could dream of. But now, I only had one thought. This woman was wasting my time. After the apocalypse, how many beautiful women would I see? Why would I care about meaningless flirting? Now, I looked at her calmly. You step forward with your right foot. I stepped forward with my left. We're not compatible. She froze. Before she could respond, I put on my helmet, started the engine. Vroom. The three-cylinder roar exploded. The red motorcycle shot forward. Behind me, the model stood there completely stunned. After realizing what happened, she shouted, I can step forward with my left foot too. I ignored her. The future was waiting. 7:58 p.m. Dragon City Planetarium. The doors were locked. The building was closed. Only a few security guards remained inside. Somewhere in the central exhibition hall, the meteorite that would change the fate of the world was waiting. Then, a red streak tore through the darkness. Vroom. The terrifying engine sound echoed across the empty street. 2 security guards immediately rushed outside. Who is there? This place is closed. Leave immediately. I didn't answer. There was no time to no reason. I twisted the throttle. The Jiangxia 820RR released all of its power. The red machine became a missile, straight toward the entrance. Boom! The reinforced glass doors exploded. Glass shattered everywhere. The motorcycle rushed through the broken entrance and entered the dark exhibition hall. Behind me, the guards shouted in panic. He's crazy. Stop him. Call the police. Alarms screamed throughout the building. But I didn't slow down. I drove through the empty exhibition hall. The guards couldn't catch me. A few seconds later, I stopped in front of me. There it was, a dark meteorite covered with faint cosmic light. The object that could decide my future. I removed my gloves. Then I reached forward. My hands touched the cold surface at that exact moment. The clock struck 8 p.m. The world changed. Boom! A terrifying sound exploded inside my mind. A cold mechanical voice echoed across the entire planet. Global announcement: the path of survival has begun. All humans will now be assigned survival vehicles. Survival number 952-7007. Name: Chow Beibound Vehicle. Wuling Hongguang 6-seat van. Individual talent. Awakening begins. The voice suddenly changed. Warning. High concentration cosmic origin energy detected. Abnormal energy level detected. Talent evaluation beginning. Breaking through S rank. breaking through SS rank, breaking through SSS rank. A moment of silence. Then, talent level, SSS plus. My breathing stopped. The mechanical voice continued. Talent name, primordial black hole. The moment the system finished announcing my talent, my mind went blank. Talent level, SSS plus. Talent name, primordial black hole. I stared at the information in front of me. Then the next series of notifications appeared. Evaluation. Same origin as the divine stone used by Nuwa to repair the heavens. The divine stone is the mother stone. This stone is the male stone. One yin, one yang. One female, one male. A pair born from the foundation of heaven and earth. Origin. After an ancient catastrophe, this stone drifted into outer space. After billions of years of wandering, it absorbed endless cosmic energy. My breathing became heavier. This wasn't just a powerful talent. This was something beyond anything I had imagined. Core ability. Devour. Everything can devour. Matter, energy, attacks, skills, talents, rules, attributes, negative effects. Anything entering the black hole domain can be devoured. Then the next information appeared. Active ability. Black hole devouring creates a devouring field. All non-living objects within range can be absorbed. My eyes widened. But that wasn't the most shocking part. The true horror came next. Passive ability. Beauty devouring 10,000 times amplification activation conditions. Deep soul connection with a woman. Intimate contact. Mutual trust and exclusive bond. Effect. Devour the talents of female companions and convert them into your own abilities. Amplification, minimum 10 times. Maximum 10,000 times. Note. The female companion will not lose her original talent. Note. If the female companion dies or develops hatred toward the user, the acquired talent will disappear. I stood there completely stunned. In my previous life, the strongest talent I had ever encountered was only S rank. SS rank and SSS rank talents belonged to the absolute elites at the top of the global rankings. They were legends. But SSS plus? I had never even heard of one. And now, I possessed one. A talent that stood above the entire world. The corner of my mouth slowly lifted. This time, my revenge wouldn't just begin. It would become a complete destruction. The primordial black hole had two terrifying abilities. The first was direct domination. As long as I fought openly, without tricks or ambushes, I was almost unbeatable. The second ability was even more ridiculous. I could absorb the talents of my trusted female companions and amplify them thousands of times. Even a useless D-rank talent, after being amplified 10,000 times, could become powerful enough to challenge an SSS-level powerhouse. As for finding suitable companions, I wasn't worried. In this apocalypse, survival would change everything. People would eventually understand the value of strength. I calmed my emotions and opened my personal status panel. A new screen appeared. Awakened information name. Chow Bei number 9527007 vehicle. Wuling Hongwang 6-seat van vehicle ID. A86 talent. Primordial black hole basic attributes constitution. 101 agility. 101 spirit. 101. I looked at the numbers. Then I couldn't stop laughing. Haha. Ordinary people started with only 10 points in each attribute. But me? Every attribute was 101.10 times higher than normal. Constitution represented strength, endurance, and defense. Agility represented speed, reaction, and movement. Spirit represented perception and talent recovery. This wasn't just a small advantage. With these attributes alone, I could crush ordinary people like stepping on ants. Even without using my SSS plus talent, I already had enough power to dominate the first few stages. But before I could enjoy this feeling, a strange dizziness suddenly hit me. My vision became blurry. My body felt heavy. Sleepiness spread through me. I immediately understood. The global teleportation was about to begin. Even with my current strength, I still couldn't resist the rules of this world. My consciousness slowly faded. And just before losing awareness, a sentence appeared deep in my mind. Primordial black hole. Devour the heavens. Turn all laws into your own power. Use beauty as the foundation. Use strength to suppress the world. Use emotions to walk the true path. Then, everything went dark. The sound of an engine woke me up. Vroom. I slowly opened my eyes. The first thing I saw was a massive desert, an endless highway stretched toward the horizon. On both sides. Only sand. Nothing else. I knew this place, because I had seen it before. This was the first location where humanity arrived after entering the apocalypse. I looked around the vehicle. 6 people. Exactly the same as my previous life. Same vehicle, same passengers. Same beginning. One by one, the others woke up. Where are we? What happened? I remember hearing something about a survival game. Why is everything a desert? Are we kidnapped? Is this some kind of movie? Their reactions were exactly the same. Every word, every expression, nothing had changed. I almost laughed, because I already knew what came next. The next person to speak would be Ruan, the woman who killed me. As expected, a frightened voice came from beside me. What is happening? I'm really scared. Can someone tell me what happened? Ruan. She was sitting right next to me. The moment I saw her, my heartbeat accelerated. My hands trembled. Not because I loved her, because I remembered the knife entering my chest. I remembered her smile. I remembered her leaving me to die. The hatred inside me almost exploded. I wanted to kill her immediately. But I knew the rules. Inside the vehicle, fighting was forbidden. Anyone who broke the rule would be punished by the system. I waited. Killing her quickly would be too easy. She deserved something worse. I suppressed my killing intent. Instead, a cold smile appeared in my heart. I wanted to see what she would do. In my previous life, when my talent was revealed, she immediately changed her attitude. She acted weak. She acted innocent. She came closer to me. She tried to make me protect her. Would she do the same thing again? Ruan sat there wearing a neat school uniform. Her appearance was exactly as I remembered. A harmless expression, a frightened look, the kind of face that made people instinctively want to protect her. And that was her greatest weapon. She didn't need to force anyone. She only needed to look helpless. Men would willingly step forward for her. Sure enough, 2 voices immediately came from the front. Ruan, don't worry. I'll protect you. The 2 men turned around almost at the same time. Zhao Lei, Chen Feng. Just like before, they were already drawn in by her innocent appearance. That was Ruan's terrifying ability. She could make people lower their guard without realizing it. Everyone was just classmates. But whenever they saw her, they treated her like a fragile younger sister who needed protection. That moment, a shocked voice suddenly came from the front. It was Lu Siki. Wait, why is this car moving by itself? No one is driving. The 6 passengers sat inside the vehicle. No one understood what was happening. No one knew why they had been brought here. The vehicle was moving by itself through an endless desert highway. There was no driver, no city, no signal. Nothing but sand stretching toward the horizon. Lu Siki stared at the steering wheel in disbelief. How is this car moving? There's nobody driving. Beside her, Lin Wanqing remained unusually calm. She wore a light blue knitted sweater over a matching dress. Even in this terrifying situation, she looked composed. She glanced out the window at the endless desert. Siki, this is called autonomous driving. But that's not the important question. Her expression became serious. The real question is, why were the 6 of us chosen? Why were we transported here? And where exactly are we going? Before anyone could answer, a cold mechanical voice suddenly appeared in everyone's mind. The Survival Highway Activated Current Group. Launching Aviation University. Class of 2023. Flight Attendant Department. Group 3 Vehicle. Wuling Hongguang 6-seat van vehicle ID. E86 current area. Desert Highway Safe Zone Basic Rules 1. The vehicle is currently in automatic driving mode. Forcing the doors open or leaving the vehicle during travel will result in immediate elimination. 2. After reaching a station, all passengers must leave the vehicle within the required time and complete assigned tasks. Failure means losing qualification. 3. The vehicle interior is an absolute safe zone. Killing is forbidden. Violators will be removed by the system. 4. Safe zones are not always truly safe. 5. Every human has awakened a talent. This talent is your greatest survival resource. Final reminder: survive. Grow stronger. Reach the end. The voice disappeared. For several seconds, nobody spoke. Then Chen Feng suddenly laughed. Seriously? You're telling me I can't get out of this car? I don't believe it. He stood up and reached toward the door handle. I want to see how this thing is going to punish me. Chen Feng, wait. Lin Wanxing immediately stopped him. Her voice was calm but firm. I heard it too. This isn't a prank. She looked at everyone inside the vehicle. Panic won't help us. The system said we can leave after reaching a station. That means this vehicle won't move forever. It also told us to use our talents. So the most important thing right now is figuring out what abilities we awakened. She looked around. I believe everyone already knows, right? Nobody wanted to speak first. S.O. Lin Wanxing took the lead. My talent is S rank. Spatial exchange. Everyone looked at her. Before the apocalypse began, I was holding the exclusive magic cube I won from the World Cube Championship. So my talent should be related to that. The atmosphere immediately changed. Some people looked shocked. Others looked doubtful. Chen Feng was the first to react. S rank. That's it. He laughed. Spatial exchange sounds flashy, but what can it actually do? In a real fight against monsters, changing positions won't kill anything. He clenched his fist. My talent is much more practical. A rank strength enhancement. Before the apocalypse started, I was working out. He flexed his arm proudly. This is the kind of ability that matters. But I silently shook my head. Everything was exactly the same as my previous life. Everyone underestimated Lin Wanxing's talent. Everyone thought it was just a fancy ability. Only I knew the truth. Spatial exchange was terrifying, instant movement, perfect positioning, dodging impossible attacks. Close-range assassination. A person with this ability could appear anywhere at any moment. Against a strong opponent, the fear alone was enough to break their mind. Chun Feng's strength enhancement, compared to Lin Wanxing's S-rank ability, it was nothing. In this life, Lin Wanxing would become one of my most important companions. Her talent would become even more terrifying after my amplification. At that moment, another voice sounded. Lu Siki lowered her head sadly. My talent? I think mine is useless. Before the apocalypse, I was drinking milk tea. So I awakened B-rank talent, milk tea girl. Everyone looked at her. I can make 10 cups of milk tea every day. Zhao Lei immediately showed a proud expression. Honestly, that's not very impressive. My B-rank talent is much better. Precision throw. Before the apocalypse, I was playing basketball. With this ability, anything I throw will hit the exact location I aim for. He smiled confidently. In other words, I'm a long-range attacker, a natural damage dealer. I didn't say anything, because I knew something they didn't. Lu Siki's talent was actually far more valuable. In the apocalypse, food and water were everything. A stable source of milk tea meant calories, hydration, and emotional support. In a resource-starved team, someone like her would become extremely valuable. Meanwhile, combat talents? There would be plenty to by now, for people had revealed their abilities. Only 2 remained. When Ruan and me.as expected, when Ruan immediately lowered her head, her eyes became watery. I don't think I'm useful. My talent is D rank. Relaxation. I can calm people's emotions and reduce fatigue. Maybe because I was giving someone a massage before the apocalypse. The moment she finished speaking, Chen Feng and Zhao Lei immediately rushed to comfort her. When Ruan, don't worry. Who says your talent is useless? We need someone like you. And even without talent, we'll protect you. I almost laughed. Exactly the same. In my previous life, I had said the same thing. Now I finally saw through her act. This woman knew exactly how to make people protect her. Then everyone's eyes turned toward me. I spoke calmly. My talent is A rank. Iron body. When the apocalypse started, I was on the dormitory rooftop hitting a metal door. That's probably why I awakened it. The moment I finished speaking, when Ruan's eyes immediately lit up, she moved closer. Then her body suddenly leaned against me. Brother Chao Bei, your body must be very strong, right? If danger appears, will you protect me? Her voice was soft. Her expression was weak and helpless. The same performance, the same trick. In my previous life, I fell for it. Not anymore. I slowly raised my hand. When Ruan smiled secretly, she thought she had succeeded. Chen Feng and Zhao Lei had already promised to protect her, and now Chao Bei had revealed a powerful defensive talent, the strongest shield, the most useful person. She believed she had secured all 3M, and no matter how dangerous the apocalypse became, she would always be the safest person in this vehicle. But she was wrong. My hand landed on the back of her head. At first, when Ruan thought I was gently comforting her. Then, my fingers tightened. Her expression changed. Before she could react, I grabbed her head and slammed it into the seat. Bang! The sound echoed through the small vehicle. The gentle illusion shattered instantly. Pain exploded through Ruan's head. Her nose cracked from the impact. Blood rushed out immediately. Her beautiful face was covered in red. She stared at me in disbelief. Tears filled her eyes. Her voice trembled. Xiao Bei, what are you doing? The entire vehicle fell silent. Everyone stared at me. Nobody expected me to suddenly attack Ruan. Shenfeng and Zhao Lei immediately stood up. Their faces were full of anger. Xiao Bei, what are you doing? Why did you hurt Ruan? In my current state, killing both of them would have been effortless. But I had no intention of revealing my true strength, yet I had a bigger plan. Lin Wanqing, a woman with an S-rank spatial talent. She was far more valuable than these two idiots. If I wanted her to become one of my future companions, I couldn't act like a violent monster from the beginning. So I deliberately looked frustrated. Earlier today, I confessed to Lu Siki and got rejected. My mood has been terrible since then. Then I saw Ruan acting like that. I couldn't control myself. My talent just awakened, and I haven't fully controlled my strength yet. I admit, I used too much force. Then I turned toward Ruan. Her face was covered in blood. Her nose was still bleeding. That I forced an apologetic expression. Ruan, you won't blame me, right? At this moment, Ruan wanted to tear me apart. Her head was still ringing from the impact. Her hatred toward me had already reached its limit. But pretending to be weak was her greatest skill. Even when she was humiliated, she knew how to hide it. Her eyes turned red. She lowered her head. I understand. Xiao Bei, I don't blame you. But, if Lu Siki was the one who rejected you, why did you hurt me? An accident, I answered casually. Since Ruan herself chose to forgive me, Shenfeng and Zhao Lei had no excuse to continue. But they were still furious. Fine. Since Ruan doesn't blame you, we'll let it go this time. But Xiao Bei, don't think awakening an A-rank talent makes you invincible. Shenfeng clenched his fist. My strength enhancement is not something your iron body can compare with. If you ever touch Ruan again, I'll kill you. I looked at him. Then I looked at Zhao Lei. The expression in my eyes was cold, like I was looking at two dead people, because soon, they wouldn't survive anyway. That I didn't reveal my real talent because I was careless. I was hiding it on purpose. That I in the apocalypse. The strongest weapon was never just power. That it was information. That I in my previous life, I was too weak, too narrow-minded. That I spent my entire life following stronger groups, barely surviving at the edge of everyone else's protection. That I never understood how terrifying this world truly was. Beyond these endless highways, there were monsters beyond imagination. There were survivors with abilities that could overturn everything I knew. There were enemies hiding in the darkness. Showing too much strength too early only made you the first target. Besides, even when Ruan was pretending, why couldn't I do the same? I looked at her. When Ruan massaged my leg, her expression froze. She stared at me. Did she hear correctly? I had just smashed her head against the seat, and now I wanted her to massage me. But she was still Ruan. She knew how to hide her emotions. She only looked at me with those pitiful eyes, hoping someone would stand up for her. But this time, Shenfeng and Zhao Lei remained silent. Not because they didn't want to help. They were watching. They wanted to see Ruan's reaction. They also wanted to see what the other girls would do. The apocalypse had arrived. The old rules no longer mattered. If I could force Ruan to obey, then maybe they could do the same. If Ruan lowered herself and served me, could Shenfeng force Lin Wanqing to do the same? Could Zhao Lei make Lu Siki obey him? Who wouldn't want beautiful women taking care of them? The thought alone made them hesitate. That I looked at Ruan. What? You don't want to? My mind is still tense. When we leave this vehicle later, we may encounter danger. If I'm exhausted and can't protect you, don't blame me if you get hurt. Every word was a threat. When Ruan clenched her teeth, her humiliation almost broke through her disguise. But finally, she forced out a soft voice. Okay, Xiao Bei, I'll massage your leg. She reached over. Her hands touched my thigh. But the moment she started, her expression changed and my leg felt like steel. She couldn't move it at all that I immediately frowned. Use more strength. Is this supposed to be a massage? You're just pretending. If you keep doing that, when danger comes, I'll protect you the same way. When Ruan's eyes became red, she almost cried. Chao Bei, your leg is too hard. I really can't move it. I looked at her. You awakened relaxation. Use your talent. She had no choice. She activated her ability and continued massaging. Seeing when Ruan completely obeyed me, Shenfeng suddenly had an idea. He turned toward Lin Wanqing. Then he copied my attitude. Lin Wanqing, I'm tired too. Help me massage my shoulders. Otherwise, when danger comes, I won't have the energy to protect you. Lin Wanqing slowly turned her head. She looked at him, then looked away. Childish. 2 words, nothing more. Chun Feng's face immediately turned ugly. He finally understood. Why did Wen obey me? Because I had used strength, because I had forced her to submit. If that worked, then he would do the same. His expression turned cold that he raised his hand and prepared to strike Lin Wanqing. But before his palm could fall, Lin Wanqing's eyes flashed, her S-rank talent activated. Spatial exchange. In an instant, her position switched with Zhao Lei. The slap that Chun Feng prepared for Lin Wanqing hit Zhao Lei instead. Smack! The sound echoed through the vehicle. Zhao Lei's head turned from the impact. His vision went dark. What the hell? Chun Feng, why did you hit me? Chun Feng's expression changed. You idiot. Didn't you see? She switched positions using her talent. The atmosphere inside the vehicle instantly became tense. Everyone was on edge. Then, a cold mechanical voice suddenly echoed inside everyone's minds. Notice first supply station reached. Vehicle has stopped. All survivors must leave the vehicle and collect required supplies. All resources must be stored in personal backpack. Station duration 12 hours. After 12 hours, the vehicle will depart on schedule. Survivors who fail to return will be permanently abandoned. Warning: the supply station is not absolutely safe. Unknown dangers exist. Survive at your own risk. The vehicle slowly came to a stop. The doors opened automatically. The moment they stepped outside, a disgusting smell hit them. It was the smell of decay, like a sewer that had been rotting for months. The usually sheltered college students immediately covered their noses. What the hell is that smell? And we have to stay here for 12 hours. Lu Siki looked pale. Can I choose not to get out? I looked at her coldly. You can stay, but if you don't find food, you'll starve. She immediately changed her mind. Then, I'll go. One by one, everyone left the vehicle. The last 2 to step down were Lin Wanqing and me. Before leaving, I walked beside her. Then I lowered my voice. When you use spatial exchange next time, don't exchange your entire position. Lin Wanqing looked at me. You only need to exchange a small part of space. For example, the enemy's heart. Her expression froze. She stared at me. She had never considered using her ability that way. Replacing someone's heart directly, that meant instant death. But after thinking about it, her eyes changed. Even if she didn't want to kill anyone, she could exchange an enemy's arm or leg. A single move could completely destroy their ability to fight. She looked at my back. For the first time, she felt that the classmate she had known for 4 years had become a stranger. After the apocalypse arrived, Chao Bei was calm, cold, decisive, almost like a completely different person. We split into 3 groups. We searched separately. Priority targets are food, water, and anything useful for survival. The moment I finished speaking, when Ruan immediately disagreed. She needed protection. More importantly, she wanted to see which of the 3 men was strongest. Then she could choose one as her temporary protector. A shield for surviving the apocalypse. When Shenfeng and Zhao Lei saw Ruan object, they immediately supported her. Why should we listen to you? If we move together. Who knows what you're planning by splitting everyone up? In the end, all 6 of us moved together. We entered the supply station. Ahead of us was an abandoned residential area. Old buildings, broken roads. A dead city. I frowned. This wasn't the same place I experienced in my previous life. The people inside the vehicle were unchanged, but everything after arriving here had changed. The future was no longer following the same path that I suspected. It was because of my new talent. In my previous life, I only had an ordinary A-rank talent. But this time, I had the highest level talent in existence, the ANSSS plus ability. The world itself had changed because of me. Where should we go first? Supermarket. My answer was immediate. We take everything useful. After that, we search every building for anything left behind. Lin Wanxing nodded. She agreed with my decision. Night covered the ruined city. The streets were silent that a group of 6 people walked through the darkness. But the atmosphere between us was complicated that I walked at the front beside Lin Wanxing. Behind us, Lu Siki held onto Wen Ruan's arm tightly. Her fear was obvious. She kept remembering what happened inside the vehicle, the moment I smashed Wen Ruan's head into the seat. The cold, killing intent in my eyes that it scared her, because she was the one who rejected my confession earlier that day. She was afraid that I would turn my anger toward her next. She didn't dare get close to me. The back of the group. Chen Feng and Zhao Lei followed silently. Especially Chen Feng. His eyes stayed fixed on my back. The more he looked, the more irritated he became. Under the dim streetlights, my black motorcycle gear stood out. The my posture was straight. The my presence was sharp. I in the ruined city. I looked completely different from everyone else. The Tio Chun Feng, who loved attention and comparison. This wasn't survival. It was just showing off. Chao Bei, didn't you spend the night on the rooftop hitting a metal door? Why are you wearing motorcycle gear now? The apocalypse has started, and you still want to look cool. I didn't answer. I only glanced back. Point one look. That was enough? The words stuck in his throat. A strange chill crawled up his spine. About 10 minutes later, we arrived at a supermarket. Lu Siki immediately became excited. Even during the apocalypse, entering a supermarket still felt satisfying. But then she looked at her backpack. Wait, what should we take? There's only so much space. After arriving at the supply station, the system had unlocked everyone's personal inventory. Each person received 10 storage slots. Each slot could stack the same type of item. One slot could store 10 identical items. That a simple but extremely useful ability that I naturally took control of the planning. You 3 girls. Focus on food. Take chocolate, compressed biscuits, beef jerky, and other high-energy foods. Each person only needs 1 slot of drinking water. I continued. Also collect warm clothing, useful tools, medical supplies, disinfectant, bandages, medicine. Everyone must leave 1 empty slot. We may find something rare later. The girls were already nervous and had no idea what to do. Hearing my organized instructions, they immediately nodded. Then they entered the supermarket. Behind them, Zhao Lei quickly stepped forward. Chao Bei, what about us? What should we collect? I looked at him and Chen Feng, then calmly answered, whatever you want. The 4 words instantly angered Chen Feng. His expression turned ugly. What do you mean, whatever we want? You carefully assign tasks to the girls. But for us, you just say whatever. Chao Bei, what exactly are you trying to do? His anger, which had been building since we entered the vehicle, finally exploded. Ever since we got on this damn car, I've disliked you. You attacked Wen Ruan for no reason. You act arrogant. You think you're above everyone. And now you treat yourself like the leader of this team. What? What gives you the right? We both have A-rank talents. Our strength is on the same level. Why do you think you can command us? The atmosphere instantly became dangerous. The fight could break out at any moment. Lin Wanxing immediately stepped forward. Chen Feng, this isn't the time to fight. Chao Bei wasn't targeting you. He just meant you can choose freely. Don't overthink it. But I shook my head that I directly cut through her explanation. No need to explain. I mean exactly what I said. They can take whatever they want. No comfort, no excuse, no attempt to please them. Only complete indifference. That broke the last bit of Chun Feng's patience. His eyes turned red. His muscles tightened. His A-rank strength enhancement began activating. He was ready to fight me. But Zhao Lei quickly grabbed his arm. Chen Feng, wait. Now isn't the time. The 2 of them stepped aside and whispered. You both have A-rank talents. Nobody knows who would win. If you fight now and lose, you'll completely lose your position in this group. Everyone will stop listening to you. Hold back for now. When nobody is around, when nobody can stop us, we'll deal with him together. Honestly, I've disliked this guy from the beginning too. 1 hour later, everyone's backpacks were full. There were still 11 hours left before they had to return to the vehicle. After a short discussion, everyone agreed to stay inside the supermarket and rest. The place was relatively safe. The doors and windows were intact. There were plenty of supplies. Compared to wandering through the dangerous streets at night, staying here and recovering their strength was obviously the better choice. That I didn't object. Everyone finally relaxed. Some leaned against shelves. Others lay directly on the floor. After an entire day of fear and tension, exhaustion quickly took over. But I wasn't resting. From beginning to end, I was thinking about one thing: how to remove Chun Feng and Zhao Lei. Those two were nothing but useless obstacles. After experiencing the previous life, I understood human nature in the apocalypse, that I couldn't simply kill my own classmates without a reason. At this stage, the apocalypse had just begun. The girls still had their normal morals and kindness. That if I slaughtered teammates during the first supply station, they would only fear and hate me. That would ruin my chances of gaining their trust in the future. The cleanest method was letting someone else do the killing. Using enemies to remove my own problems. I closed my eyes. Then I released my spirit power. My perception spread outward. The entire area around the supermarket entered my mind. Broken streets, abandoned buildings, every movement, every sound. Nothing escaped. A few moments later, I found them. 6 people. Their presence was violent. Their killing intent was obvious. They were moving toward the supermarket. Perfect. A little opportunity had arrived. I stood up. But before I could leave, Lin Wanqing noticed. She opened her eyes. Xiao Bei, where are you going? I looked at her. I'm going outside. I feel like there may still be useful supplies nearby. I'll search the area. I'll go with you. She immediately stood up. I shook my head. No, the night outside is dangerous. Stay here. Lock the entrance. And remember, unless it's me, don't open the door for anyone. After saying that, I left before she could respond. Originally, I planned to secretly guide those people here if their route was wrong, but my detection showed they were already heading directly toward the supermarket. I didn't need to do anything. I hid in the darkness near the street and waited. Under the faint moonlight, 6 figures slowly appeared. They were wearing prison uniforms. Boss, this is definitely the right direction. I heard 3 female voices earlier. Just hearing them, I almost lost control. The speaker had poor hearing before the apocalypse, but when the apocalypse arrived, he was adjusting his hearing aid. That accident awakened his B-rank talent. Enhanced hearing. Within 1 kilometer, nothing escaped him. The scar-faced man leading the group smiled. Good. If those girls are really as good as you say, me and the second brother will each take one. The last one is yours. Thanks, boss. The 6 men moved faster. Soon, they reached the supermarket. The scar-faced man didn't care that the door was locked. He raised his foot and kicked. Bang! The wooden door shattered instantly. Wood fragments flew everywhere. Inside the supermarket, the sleeping survivors woke up. What happened? Who is there? 6 terrifying figures entered. They looked like demons. When they saw the 3 girls, Lin Wanqing, Wen Ruan, Lu Siki, their eyes immediately changed. They were all serious criminals. People who had spent years in prison. They hadn't seen young women like this in a long time. Beautiful, young, helpless. Their breathing became heavier. The scar-faced leader licked his dry lips. Little beauties, come here obediently. Take care of us properly. Otherwise, you'll suffer. The moment Qin Feng heard this, his anger exploded. He had been holding it in all day. That he wanted to prove something. He wanted everyone to know that he was the strongest protector. And now, these criminals had given him the perfect chance. Without hesitation, Qin Feng stepped forward. He grabbed the iron pipe he had prepared earlier, then stood in front of the 3 girls. Has the world really become this chaotic? Now any trash thinks they can do whatever they want. They are people I will protect. My talent is A-rank strength enhancement. If you know what's good for you, leave. The 6 criminals froze. Then, they laughed, loudly, mockingly. The man with enhanced hearing leaned toward the scar-faced leader. Boss, did you hear that? This idiot actually told us to leave. The scar-faced man laughed. The last person who told me to leave, I kicked him straight into the ICU. Since this kid wants to die, let's teach him what real danger looks like. The criminals laughed. The entire supermarket filled with arrogance. Chun Feng's face turned red. His anger reached its limit. He activated his A-rank talent. His muscles expanded. His strength tripled. The iron pipe in his hand moved like a storm. The air itself seemed to tear. His strongest attack, point one strike. He wanted to defeat the enemy. He wanted everyone to see his power. But the scar-faced man didn't move. Not even his expression changed. He simply stood there, like he wasn't facing an attack at all. The iron pipe was about to hit his head. Then, the scar-faced man suddenly raised his knee. His foot blocked the iron pipe perfectly. Boom! A terrifying metallic impact exploded. The force traveled back through the pipe. Chun Feng's hands instantly went numb. His palms cracked. His arms lost strength. He stumbled backward. The scar-faced man didn't move even one step. The difference was obvious. Before Chun Feng could recover, the scar-faced man attacked. He jumped. His body spun 360 degrees in midair. Then his right leg crashed down with terrifying power. Bang! His kick hit Chun Feng's chest. Chun Feng flew backward like a broken puppet. He smashed through 2 rows of shelves. Food and supplies collapsed around him. He fell into the wreckage. Blood sprayed from his mouth. He completely lost his ability to fight. The man with enhanced hearing laughed. Now you understand the difference. My boss awakened an A-rank talent during the apocalypse. Back then, he was stepping on an old sewing machine in prison. That awakened Diamond's strength kick. The scar-faced man looked down at Chun Feng. Your A-rank talent. Not even worth mentioning. Nearby, Zhao Lei's expression changed. Fear filled his eyes. But he knew doing nothing meant death. He pulled out a prepared dagger, then activated his B-rank precision throw. His target, the scar-faced man's chest. The moment he was about to throw, a thin, bald figure moved. The second criminal, who had been standing silently in the back, disappeared in the next second. He appeared directly in front of Zhao Lei. Too fast, so fast that human eyes couldn't follow. Before Zhao Lei could react, the bald man grabbed his wrist. Then, smack. A heavy slap hit Zhao Lei's face. The force sent him crashing to the ground. His cheek instantly swelled. The bald man looked down at him. Trying to sneak attack. I was also using a sewing machine when the apocalypse started. My hands and feet moved at incredible speed. So I awakened A-rank Swift. At that moment, the man with enhanced hearing turned toward the 3 girls. That a disgusting smile appeared on his face. Boss, which one do you want? I'll tie them up first. Then you can enjoy yourself. The man with enhanced hearing rubbed his hands together with a disgusting smile. That he slowly walked toward Lin Wanqing, Wen Ruan, and Lu Siki. The 3 girls were terrified. When Ruan curled up in the corner, her face was pale. For the first time, her usual innocent expression was completely gone. Lu Siki grabbed Lin Wanqing's arm tightly. Her voice trembled. Wanqing, where is Qiao Bei? Why isn't Qiao Bei here? Suddenly, Chun Feng started laughing. A crazy laugh. He pointed at Lu Siki. You idiot. You still expect Qiao Bei? That kind of person probably ran away the moment danger appeared. Who stood in front of you just now? Who tried to protect you? It was me. I only lost because I'm not strong enough. Chun Feng was still unwilling to accept reality. That he needed to prove that he was the real protector. Not Qiao Bei. Not anyone else. The bald second brother became annoyed. His figure flashed. In an instant, he appeared in front of Chun Feng. Smack! A powerful slap landed on Chun Feng's face. Half of his face immediately swelled. Blood leaked from the corner of his mouth. The bald man looked at him coldly. Boss, what should we do with these 2 men? The scar-faced leader looked at Chun Feng and Zhao Lei. Then slowly raised his hand. He dragged a finger across his neck. Kill them. The bald man smiled. He pulled out a sharp knife. The blade pointed directly at Chun Feng's throat. That moment, Chun Feng broke. All his pride, all his heroic image, all his desire to impress the girls, none of it mattered anymore. Only survival mattered. Don't kill me. Please don't kill me. He fell to his knees, then started desperately bowing. His forehead hit the ground again and again. Blood appeared instantly. Brother, I'm useful. I can help you. Please let me live. The bald man raised an eyebrow. The knife stopped. Oh, how are you useful? Chun Feng's eyes moved quickly. Then he looked at the 3 trembling girls. The last bit of friendship disappeared from his face. Only selfishness remained. I can help you watch these women. We met them here today. There is a high chance we'll encounter them again. When that happens, I'll tie them up and send them directly to you. The bald man seemed interested, but before he could answer, the scar-faced leader interrupted. Not enough. Chun Feng panicked. He desperately searched for another way to survive. Then he revealed his final card. That woman in white. Lin Wanqing. She has an S-rank talent. Spatial exchange. You have to be careful. She can instantly switch positions and attack from behind. The three girls froze. They looked at Chun Feng in disbelief. Chun Feng, how could you reveal our ability? Lin Wanqing's expression became cold. Chun Feng shouted back. I almost died protecting you. What else do you want from me? Why should I die for you? The scar-faced leader smiled. Since you know how to cooperate, I'll let you live. Second brother, kill the other one first. The bald man moved at a flash of cold light past. His knife cut across Zhao Lei's throat. Zhao Lei's eyes widened. He didn't even have time to scream. Blood sprayed. His body collapsed. Dead. The supermarket became silent. Lu Siki covered her mouth. Her entire body trembled when Ruan's face turned. Completely white. Even Chun Feng, who had survived, was shaking. The reality of the apocalypse finally hit them. This was no longer a game. This was death. Meanwhile, the man with enhanced hearing walked toward Lin Wanqing. He smiled. He was about to grab her, but at the moment of life and death, Lin Wanqing's eyes became sharp. She activated spatial exchange. A faint white light appeared. Space twisted. The ability surrounded the man. The next second, his legs were moved. Not his whole body, just his legs. They appeared 1 meter away from where they should have been. Ah! A horrifying scream filled the supermarket. His legs were forcibly twisted. Bones broke. Blood poured out. He fell to the ground. Unable to move, the other criminals froze. The scar-faced leader's expression changed. Second brother, stop her. Don't let her use that ability again. The bald man immediately rushed toward Lin Wanqing. But Lin Wanqing had just used her talent. Her breathing was heavy. Her energy was almost exhausted. She couldn't use it again. She could only watch him approach. Then, a cold voice exploded through the supermarket. Stop. Who gave you permission to touch my woman? Everyone turned. The entrance that a figure slowly walked in. Qiao Bei. He wore black motorcycle armor. His helmet was held under his arm. His posture was calm. His presence was terrifying. The cold atmosphere around him made the entire supermarket feel frozen. First day of the apocalypse. And you already dare touch my woman. You have some courage. The criminals felt pressure immediately. Even the bald man stopped. A trace of fear appeared in his eyes. But Chun Feng suddenly became excited. He thought his chance had arrived. He immediately shouted, Big brother, don't worry about him. I know him. He's my classmate. His talent is only A-rank iron body. He's pretending. His ability can't compare to your diamond strength kick. The scar-faced leader looked at Chun Feng. His expression relaxed slightly. You really are useful. You earned another chance to live. Then he shouted, Second brother, what are you waiting for? Finish this quickly. The bald man moved again. His body became a blur. He charged toward Lin Wanqing. But before he could take another step, a black shadow flashed. Qiao Bei appeared directly in front of him. The bald man froze. Before his expression could change, a hand grabbed his head. Bang! The impact shook the entire supermarket. Qiao Bei pressed down. The bald man's head was smashed into the marble floor. Cracks spread like a spider web. Stone fragments flew everywhere. The bald man's bones shattered. Blood poured from his mouth. He died instantly. Silence. Complete silence. Everyone stared. Chun Feng's eyes widened. His mind went blank. This is impossible. How does he have this kind of speed and strength? He's supposed to only have A-rank iron body. Even the scar-faced leader was terrified. His arrogance disappeared. Only fear remained. But he was still a criminal who had lived through death. He forced himself to shout, Everyone, attack together. Kill him. But his body betrayed him. The moment he finished speaking, he turned around and ran. He knew the truth. He couldn't win. He wasn't fighting a person. He was facing a monster. But it was already too late. Qiao Bei appeared in front of him, blocking his escape. Then he raised the motorcycle helmet in his hand. Bang! A terrifying impact sounded. The scar-faced man's skull cracked. His head flew away from his body. The head crashed into the wall. Blood spread everywhere. The headless body stood frozen for a moment, then collapsed. The remaining criminals finally broke. Monster. He's not human. He's a devil. They turned and ran, but Chow Bei would never let them escape. His figure flashed. Every movement was decisive. Every attack was fatal. 3 short sounds echoed. The 3 fleeing criminals fell. Their lives disappeared in only a few seconds. 6 criminals. 5 dead. 1 left alive. And the only survivor was the man whose legs had already been destroyed in only a few seconds. The criminals who had been so arrogant moments ago were now nothing but cold corpses. The supermarket became completely silent. Only the heavy smell of blood remained. Lin Wanqing, Lu Siki, and Wen Ruan stood frozen. None of them could recover from what they had just witnessed. Lin Wanqing was the first to come back to reality. She looked at my cold, straight back, and finally released the breath she had been holding. Her body was still trembling slightly, but the fear in her eyes had changed. It was now relief, security, and a faint dependence she didn't even notice. She bit her lip, then whispered, "Chow Bei, thank goodness you came back." Lu Siki also collapsed emotionally. She covered her mouth. Tears finally flowed. It wasn't only fear. It was the mixture of shock, relief, and the feeling of surviving death. She suddenly rushed forward and hugged me. "Chow Bei, that was terrifying. I really thought we were going to die. Thank goodness you came back. You don't know what happened. Qin Feng, he betrayed all of us." I felt the softness in my arms. For the first time, I looked at Lu Siki differently. Maybe keeping her around wasn't such a bad idea. At least, she wasn't completely useless. But beside us, when Ruan's expression changed again and again, embarrassment, jealousy, anger, she couldn't believe Lu Siki had taken the first opportunity. She gritted her teeth, then forced herself to approach. If she could gain my sympathy now, she could still regain my protection. But before she could get close, I didn't even look at her. My foot moved. Bang! When Ruan stumbled backward and fell to the ground, she looked at me in disbelief. "Chow Bei, what are you doing?" Her eyes became red. Her voice became weak. "Chow Bei, why are you treating me like this?" She still couldn't understand. Why was I targeting her? She thought she had done nothing. Was it because her talent was only de rank? But I ignored her. My attention turned to the man lying on the ground. The one who had awakened enhanced hearing. He was still alive. Barely. I picked up the blood-covered knife from the ground, then placed it in Lin Wanqing's hand. "In the apocalypse, if you want to survive, you need to learn how to kill." Lin Wanqing froze. Earlier, when she used spatial exchange, she only moved the criminal's legs. She didn't dare kill him. The last bit of her normal world morality was still holding on. But now, I had placed the choice directly in front of her. Lu Siki opened her mouth. She wanted to say something, but finally remained silent. Lin Wanqing looked at the knife. She hesitated, only for a few seconds. Then her eyes became firm. She tightened her grip, took a deep breath, and stabbed forward. Splurt! The blade pierced directly into the man's chest. Blood burst out, covering her hands, her clothes, her face. The warmth and stickiness made her body shake. She stepped backward in fear. Her face turned pale. I walked forward and supported her before she fell. "Don't be afraid. The first time is always like this. From now on, I'll protect you." But something unexpected happened. A system notification suddenly appeared. Red Beauty Bond activated target. Lin Wanqing number 1 activation condition. Soul Bond established bond level. LV1 current amplification. 10x talent. S-rank spatial exchange original effect. Within a 3-meter range, any 2 spaces can be exchanged. High spiritual energy consumption required. After amplification, within a 30-meter range, any 2 spaces can be exchanged. Minimal spiritual energy consumption. I looked at the information, then smiled slightly. My first companion was obtained this easily. And even better, it was the S-rank spatial exchange ability I wanted most. 30 meters, any 2 spaces, instant replacement. Combined with my current physical strength, what would the future apocalypse highway become? A hell for others? Or my paradise? I slowly turned. My eyes landed on Qin Feng. He was lying on the ground, shaking, terrified. I casually handed the knife to Lu Siki. Qin Feng's face instantly turned white. He crawled backward desperately. "Chow Bei, you can't kill me. We're classmates. Before you came back, I was protecting them. I only revealed Lin Wanqing's ability because I was trying to trick those criminals. I was buying everyone time. You can't do this. Lu Siki held the knife. Her hands trembled. Her voice shook. Chao Bei, he is still our classmate. I can't do it. I looked at her. I was about to speak. But suddenly, when Ruan rushed forward, she grabbed the knife from Lu Siki's hand. Her expression was completely different. Cold, cruel, determined. If you can't do it, I will. She raised the knife and walked toward Qin Feng. Everyone froze. Nobody expected this. The one Ruan they knew. The girl who always acted weak. The girl who always pretended to be helpless was actually capable of showing such brutality. The apocalypse really did change people, but I didn't give her the chance. My expression darkened. My foot moved. Bang! When Ruan was kicked away, I took the knife back, then placed it in Lu Siki's hand again. My voice was calm, but unquestionable. You only have one chance. Think carefully. If you don't kill him, my vehicle has no place for you. Lu Siki's hands tightened around the knife. Tears rolled down her face. Do we really have to do this? In the apocalypse, do we really have to kill people? Lin Wanqing walked over. She gently held Lu Siki's arm. Siki, think about what would have happened if Chao Bei hadn't returned. What would our fate have been? The apocalypse has already changed everything. There are no classmates, no friendships, only survival matters. You saw Chao Bei's strength. If we follow him, we can live. Those words finally reached Lu Siki. She wiped away her tears, then slowly walked toward Qin Feng. Step by step, Qin Feng completely broke down. He crawled backward. No, don't come closer. Lu Siki, you can't kill me. We're classmates. He looked at me. His voice became desperate. Chao Bei, you're a demon. You'll die horribly. You're only A-rank iron body. Why are you so strong? I'm also A-rank. Why am I so weak? I don't understand. His screams filled the supermarket, but there was no answer. Only Lu Siki closing her eyes and stabbing with all her strength. Splurt. The knife entered his chest. Blood flowed. Chun Feng's scream stopped instantly. His eyes widened. His body slowly collapsed. Dead. I looked at the blood-covered floor, then spoke calmly. We can't stay here. Find another place to rest. The three girls nodded. They followed me toward the exit, but before leaving, I suddenly stopped, then looked at Ruan. She can walk. You crawl. When Ruan froze, she turned around. Her eyes instantly became red. Chao Bei, why are you doing this to me? Her voice was full of confusion. She couldn't understand. Why was I constantly humiliating her? Why was I treating her like an enemy? I looked at her. My expression didn't change. My voice was cold. Because you owe me. When Ruan still couldn't understand. What exactly had she done wrong? She immediately returned to her old strategy. The weak expression, the trembling voice, the tears in her eyes. Chao Bei, what did I do wrong? Tell me, and I'll change. Please don't treat me like this. But this time, her act no longer worked. I raised my hand. Slap. The sound echoed through the room. When Ruan froze, her face turned red from the impact. For a moment, she couldn't believe what had happened. I didn't explain. I didn't argue. I simply took a belt from the fallen criminals nearby. Then I tied it around her neck. I handed the other end to Lin Wanqing. Take her and leave first. I'll clean up here and catch up. Lin Wanqing's heart tightened. She understood what I was doing, but she didn't question me. She silently took the belt. When Ruan finally stopped pretending, she lowered her head. Humiliation filled her eyes. The woman who once controlled everyone's emotions was now forced to obey. She followed them out, like someone who had lost all power. After the three girls left, I activated my talent. Devouring Black Hole. This was my first time using this ability. I wanted to know whether it was really as terrifying as the system described. The next moment, a dark force spread outward from my body. The bodies on the ground, the blood, the broken remains. Everything began disappearing. In only a few seconds, the entire battlefield was erased. Not even a trace remained. I looked at the empty supermarket. Then I suddenly felt something different. My body was changing. I opened my status panel. Constitution, 101, 102. I was stunned. Wait, it can increase my attributes. A smile appeared on my face. So this ability wasn't only useful for combat. Even cleaning up the battlefield could make me stronger. From now on, I would handle this kind of work myself. I immediately activated another ability. Spatial exchange. In an instant, my body appeared in front of the three girls. They didn't even react. Only Lin watching noticed something. Her expression changed. As a spatial ability user herself, she could clearly sense the fluctuation, but she couldn't understand. How could someone with only iron body use spatial abilities? Meanwhile, Lu Siki looked at me in surprise. Chao Bei, how are you so fast? I glanced at her. This girl really had no idea what kind of question she had just asked. I ignored it. My attention returned to when Ruan. I grabbed the belt, then continued walking. When the time is right, I'll tell you everything. Soon, we reached a residential building. The first floor had two separate rooms. Each room had a bathroom. In the apocalypse, this was already an extremely comfortable place to rest. I looked at the blood covering my clothes. I need to clean myself first. Tonight, when Ruan stays in one room with me, Lin Wanqing and Lu Siki take the other. Any objections? The two girls looked at each other, then shook their heads. They understood. In this world, strength decided everything, and right now, I was the strongest person they had. When Ruan's eyes moved slightly, she thought this was her opportunity. Perhaps after everything that happened, she could still repair the relationship. Inside the bathroom. I washed the blood from my clothes, then cleaned myself. When Ruan stood nearby, her thoughts were complicated. She had always believed she understood men. She believed any man could eventually be controlled with the right approach. But this time, she was wrong. The man in front of her was no longer the person she remembered, the desperate person who once followed her, the person who gave everything without asking for anything back. That man was gone. Chao Bei, her voice became softer. Let me help. I looked at her. For a moment, even I was surprised that in my previous life, I had protected her countless times, that I had taken injuries meant for her, that I had risked my life. But I never received genuine trust. And now, everything had changed. Only after I stopped giving everything did she begin trying to get closer. That realization made me understand something, that my old self had been too weak, too willing to sacrifice, that I had allowed others to treat my kindness as something worthless. This time, I would never make that mistake again. In the other room, Lu Siki couldn't stop thinking. Lin Wanqing, why did Chao Bei take Ruan away? He clearly hates her. What is he planning? Lin Wanqing remained quiet for a moment, then answered calmly. Siki, don't you understand the situation yet? In this apocalypse, we cannot survive without Chao Bei. I don't know the real him anymore. But one thing is certain. He is far more complicated than he appears. His true ability is definitely not just A-rank iron body. Lu Siki stared at her. Lin Wanqing had always been proud and independent. At school, countless talented people tried to pursue her. She never cared. But now, she was admitting that she needed someone. Lin Wanqing continued. The only way we survive is to understand his importance, trust his decisions, follow the strongest person, because without him, would we still be standing here alive? Lu Siki fell silent. She had no answer. Then, a sound from the next room made her expression change. Her face turned red. Fear and confusion appeared in her eyes. Lin Wanqing, are you really sure about this? I'm scared. I rejected him earlier today. Now he feels like a completely different person. If he can treat Ruan this way, what if one day he does the same to us? Lin Wanqing shook her head. Her voice remained calm. Unless you can survive alone in this world, without relying on anyone, you can't avoid reality forever. Think carefully. If Chao Bei had not appeared tonight, would we still be safe? Lu Siki lowered her head. She had no response. The night passed slowly. Nobody truly rested. The apocalypse had only just begun, but everyone had already learned the first lesson. The old world was gone. The rules had changed, and the person standing at the center of this new world was Chao Bei. Inside the room, when Ruan finally broke, her confidence, her calculations, her belief that she could control the situation, all of it collapsed. She looked at me with tired eyes. Chao Bei, what did I do wrong? Why are you treating me like this? For the first time, her voice contained real fear. I looked at her. The hatred accumulated from my previous life was still there. The betrayal, the pain, The moment that knife pierced my chest, everything was still vivid that I leaned closer. My voice was cold. You still don't know what you did wrong. After everything, why do you think I would forgive you? The room became silent, and in that moment, when Ruan finally understood, the man in front of her was no longer the person she once manipulated. From the beginning, I never planned to kill when Ruan immediately that a quick death would have been too easy, too merciful. The betrayal from my previous life, the pain that had been carved into my memory, it couldn't be erased by a single blade. What I wanted was not just her death. I wanted her to understand. I wanted her to feel what it was like to lose. Everything that I wanted her to believe she still had a chance. Then I would take that hope away, again and again, until the confidence she had built from manipulating others completely collapsed, until she finally understood the person she once controlled was gone forever. Another hour passed. The room finally became quiet that I lay on the bed, thinking about everything that had happened. After my constitution reached 102, my body had become far beyond normal human limits. The strength, the endurance, the recovery, everything was completely different from my previous life. But there was one thing I confirmed. This kind of relationship with Ruan would never create a true bond. The system required trust at a genuine connection, not fear, not submission, not control, and lying nearby. When Ruan looked exhausted, but beneath that appearance, her hatred had already taken root. She feared me. She hated me. And most importantly, she knew she could no longer control me. To her, I had become an unpredictable monster, a person she couldn't manipulate, a person she couldn't rely on. If she couldn't control me, there were only two choices: escape or kill me. Half an hour later, the room was silent. My breathing had become steady. When Ruan slowly opened her eyes, she looked toward the bedside table. A small fruit knife was there. Her expression changed. This was her only chance. She had always believed she understood people. She believed that as long as she found the right method, she could survive anywhere. But Chao Bei was different. This man was impossible to control. If she escaped his influence, she could still find another powerful survivor, another person to protect her. She made her decision. Quietly, she reached for the knife, then activated her talent, softening. A faint light appeared around her hand. She touched my body, then raised the knife. Her eyes became cold. The moment before the blade reached me, my body disappeared. The knife struck the empty bed. Clang! The sound echoed through the silent room. When Ruan froze, her pupils contracted. Impossible. How could I disappear? She slowly turned and saw me standing beside her, calm, unharmed. Watching her, a cold smile appeared on my face. Chao Bei, no. You misunderstood. I was only testing your reaction. I would have stopped before hurting you. I wasn't trying to kill you. Her voice became desperate, but even she knew how weak the excuse sounded. I looked down at her. When Ruan, do you really think I would believe that? She panicked. She grabbed onto my leg. Chao Bei, please. I was wrong. Please give me another chance. For the first time, the woman who always controlled others was truly afraid. But fear was not trust, and regret after failure was not sincerity. I picked up the knife. My expression remained cold. You already made your choice. You lifted the blade. You decided what you wanted to do. Her face turned pale. No, I didn't. I swear. I never wanted to betray you. But I had already seen enough. Actions mattered more than words. The knife moved. Pain forced a scream from her. Her disguise finally broke. The confident woman who once played with people's emotions was now completely overwhelmed. Chao Bei, please. I was wrong. I really was wrong. I looked at her. The hatred from my previous life was still burning. But I didn't kill her. Not yet. I wanted answers. I wanted to understand something. Because there was one thing I had never figured out in my previous life. When Ruan told everyone she only had a D-rank talent, relaxation, that was a lie. Her real ability was far more powerful than ranked, softening, a talent capable of destroying even my iron-bodied S.O. I crouched down, looked directly into her eyes, and asked, when Ruan, I've always wondered, before the apocalypse began, what exactly were you doing? Why did you awaken an A-rank talent like softening? By now, when Ruan had completely broken, she no longer cared how I knew the truth about her talent. She no longer cared about escaping with dignity. All she wanted was for everything to end. She laughed out a broken, almost hysterical laugh. Ha ha. Chow Bei, you never expected this, did you? Her eyes were filled with resentment. When the apocalypse began, I was in the department director's office. I was studying material softening technology. That's why I awakened, A-rank softening. She stared at me. The bitterness in her voice became sharper. You chased after me for 4 years. You gave everything to me. And now, you finally know what kind of person I really am. I don't even know what I did wrong in your eyes. But I understand one thing. You will never let me go. If you want to kill me, then do it. Just kill me. The sound of a slap echoed through the room. I looked at her coldly. This woman was dangerous. Even now, even after everything, she was still trying to control the situation with words. She wanted to turn herself into the victim. She wanted me to hesitate, but I had already seen through her completely. Die. I looked down at her. Not that easy. I turned away, then walked to the next room and knocked on the door. Lin Wanxing and Lu Siki quickly came out. When they saw Wen Ruan's condition, both of them froze. They had expected many things, but not this. Take care of her wounds. My voice was calm. Keep her alive. Don't let her die. At that moment, a system notification appeared. Notice Lin Wanxing's bond level has increased current bond. LV2, I was slightly surprised that I didn't expect that. Earlier, Lin Wanxing had been filled with doubts. She had misunderstood my intentions, but after seeing the truth, those doubts disappeared. The jealousy, the confusion, the uncertainty, all of it faded. What remained was trust. That emotional change strengthened our bond. Lu Siki looked at Wen Ruan. A trace of sympathy appeared in her eyes. Why? What exactly did she do? Why would Chow Bei treat her like this? The room instantly became silent. I turned my head. My eyes landed on Lu Siki. Cold, sharp. Lin Wanxing, come with me. She stays here. Then I looked at Lu Siki. Wen Ruan is very good at manipulating people. If she tries to talk to you, do not respond. If I find out you ignore my order, you will accept the consequences. Lu Siki immediately nodded. I understand. She no longer dared to say anything else. Back in the other room, Lin Wanxing sat beside me. Unlike the others, she wasn't trembling. She wasn't trying to flatter me. She was calm. I looked at her. Back then, among all the girls I tried to pursue, you were the first one who rejected me. She nodded. Because we weren't suitable. I didn't want to waste your time. And I didn't want to accept your feelings just because you kept giving. Her answer surprised me. She had always been different. She never used my kindness. She never pretended. Maybe that was why. She became the first person I truly trusted. The next morning, a new notification appeared. Bound companion. Lin Wanxing number 01 bond conditions. Soul connection bond level. LV3 current talent amplification. 30x talent. S-rank spatial exchange original effect. Exchange any 2 spaces within 3 meters amplified effect. Exchange any 2 spaces within 90 meters I. Looked at the information. A 90-meter spatial ability. Combined with my own strength, the future would become much more interesting. Before I could think further, the system announcement appeared. To notice first day survival trial completed to support survivors. All participants will receive a survival supply package. Please return to your assigned vehicles. Proceed to the next destination. We gathered our supplies, then headed back to the Wuling Hongguang. But before reaching the vehicle, I noticed something wrong. There were people waiting. 6 strangers surrounded the car. The leader wore traditional Japanese clothing. A weapon hung at his waist. A woman beside him stepped forward. Black Jua-san, I have completed my investigation. The strongest person among them has an S-rank talent, but his energy presence is extremely weak. He is probably only a support type user. He should not be a threat. Her name was Sakura. Her talent was A-rank perception. She could detect other people's talent levels and energy, but she could not sense the true power hidden inside me. The primordial black hole was beyond her ability to detect. Because she found nothing, she assumed I was weak. The man called Blackjig smiled. He held his weapon confidently. Hand over your supplies. Otherwise, today will be your last day. Before I could respond, a weak voice suddenly came from behind. Wen Ruan, I'll give you everything. Take all my supplies. Please let me join you. I can help. I can work. I'll be useful. She had heard their conversation. She believed this man was an S-rank survivor. After everything she experienced, she no longer wanted to stay beside me. She didn't care who saved her. She only wanted to escape. The six foreigners laughed. Blackthor looked at her with amusement. So this is what happens when people lose their protection. A beautiful woman like you. Yet they allowed you to end up like this. Come with me. I can give you a better life. When Ruan immediately moved toward him, she truly believed this was her chance. But before she could take another step, I moved that my foot slammed into the ground in front of her. The surface cracked instantly. The force stopped her completely that I looked down at her and my voice was cold. When Ruan, did you ask me before leaving? The moment Black Zay saw my attitude, his expression turned cold. He stepped forward. Chinese friend, I suggest you make the right choice. Hand over the survival supply package, and I can let you leave safely. His tone was arrogant. He spoke as if everything was already decided. Then he raised his weapon slightly, showing off his ability. Before the apocalypse began, I was holding my family's ancestral katana. That was when I awakened my S-rank talent. Void Slash. With one swing, I can release powerful energy blades. With your strength, you are no match for me. His words sounded generous, but I knew exactly what he was thinking. After death, the supplies inside someone's storage space could not be taken. So he wanted us to hand everything over willingly. Once he got what he wanted, he would kill everyone. His eyes moved. They landed on Lin Wanxing and Lu Siki behind me. A greedy smile appeared on his face. I didn't expect there would be two more beautiful women. Unfortunately, my vehicle has limited space. But since this beauty has chosen to join me, I suppose I cannot refuse. At that moment, when Ruan suddenly spoke, Black Zet, be careful. This man is not simple. He can instantly kill A-rank survivors. Even if you have an S-rank talent, don't underestimate him. Hearing this, Black Zay's expression changed. He stopped looking down on me. His hand moved. The katana was drawn. A terrifying pressure spread outward. Then, he slashed out. A black energy blade tore through the air. The attack rushed toward me with incredible speed, but I didn't move. I simply raised one hand. A dark vortex appeared in front of me. The black hole spun silently. The terrifying energy blade entered it and disappeared completely. No explosion, no impact. Nothing. Black Zay's eyes widened. His confidence disappeared instantly. That he had believed his talent was enough to dominate everyone in this area. But this Chinese man only lifted his hand, and his strongest attack vanished. You have some ability. Black Zay gritted his teeth. His killing intent intensified. He stopped holding back. The katana moved again. .1/.2 slashes, .10 slashes. Dozens of black energy blades filled the sky. Horizontal cuts, vertical cuts, diagonal strikes. Every direction was sealed. The attacks covered all possible escape routes. The entire area was filled with destructive energy. Sakura's eyes widened. Multiple void slashes. Black Zay is serious now. This person is finished. Nearby, when Ruan's eyes lit up, for the first time since the apocalypse began, she felt hope. She wanted to see me lose. She wanted to see the person who had crushed her completely destroyed. She wanted revenge. But I simply stood there, calm, unmoved. I opened my hand. The black hole appeared again. The countless energy blades rushed toward it, like countless insects flying into a flame. They were swallowed instantly. The attacks disappeared. Not even a trace remained. The entire battlefield became silent. I looked at Black Zay. A little disappointed. So this is all you have? Black Zay's face turned dark. My calmness felt like humiliation. But he suddenly turned around. Everyone, attack together. Kill him. The remaining members immediately activated their talents. Different abilities appeared one after another. A-rank talent. Poison infusion. One person released a dark green poisonous mist. The poison wrapped around Black Zay's katana. The blade instantly became covered with a terrifying green glow. Even the grass nearby withered when touched. A-rank talent. Levitation. Another person released blue energy. Black Zay's body slowly rose into the air. 10 meters above the ground. He gained complete aerial advantage. The remaining 3 people activated support abilities. B-rank talent. Frenzy. B-rank talent. Battle enhancement. 2 powerful buffs entered Black Zay's body. His aura exploded. His muscles tightened. His strength, his speed, his explosive power, everything increased dramatically. AT that moment. Black Zay looked completely different. He floated in the sky like a killing god. His hair moved wildly. His eyes were filled with madness. Insect, you completely angered me. Since you want to die, I will show you my ultimate power. Ultimate void slash. His roar echoed across the area. He gripped the katana with both hands. All his power gathered into the blade. Then he swung downward. Boom! A massive black and green energy blade formed. It was more than twice as powerful as before. The destructive force tore through the air. The poisonous energy spread around it. The ground cracked under the pressure. This was the strongest attack created by all 6 members working together. Sakura shouted excitedly. The final strike. No one can stop it. Ruan trembled with excitement. She stared at me, waiting for the moment I was crushed. Behind me, Lu Siki tightly held Lin Wanqing's arm. Even Lin Wanqing looked serious, but I still didn't move. I simply raised my hand. The black hole appeared. This time, it expanded, larger, deeper, more terrifying. It was no longer just a small vortex. It looked like a gateway that could swallow the entire world. The giant black-green blade descended. Then, it hit the black hole. Boom! But there was no explosion. No shockwave. No destruction. The attack simply disappeared, like it had never existed. The ultimate attack that contained the power of 6 people was completely devoured. The wind stopped. The sound disappeared. The pressure vanished. High above the ground, Black Zay froze. His expression became one of absolute disbelief. His strongest attack, the attack he believed could kill anyone, was gone. Just like that. What? How? He couldn't understand that moment. I disappeared. Black Zay's pupils contracted. A cold voice sounded behind him. If this is your strongest attack, then it's my turn. Black Zay watched my attitude. His expression immediately turned vicious. Chinese friend, I advise you to be smart. Hand over the survival supply package. His tone was full of arrogance. Then he raised his katana and proudly revealed his ability. Before the apocalypse began, I was holding my family's ancestral sword. That was when I awakened my S-rank talent. Void Split Slash. With every swing, I can release powerful energy blades. With your strength, you are absolutely not my opponent. He spoke as if he was giving me a chance, but I knew exactly what he was planning. After someone died, the supplies inside their storage space could not be taken. He wanted us to surrender willingly. Once he obtained everything, he would kill us without hesitation. His eyes moved. They landed on Lin Wanqing and Lu Siki behind me. Greed flashed in his eyes. I didn't expect there would be 2 more beautiful women. Unfortunately, my vehicle has limited space. But since this beauty wants to join me, I suppose I cannot refuse. Before I could respond, when Ruan suddenly shouted, Black Zay, be careful. This person is not simple. He can instantly kill A-rank survivors. Even if you have an S-rank talent, don't underestimate him. Hearing this, Black Zay's expression became serious. He no longer dared to be careless. His hand gripped the katana. Then he attacked. A black energy blade tore through the AI. It rushed toward me with terrifying speed. But I didn't move. I simply raised my hand. A dark vortex appeared in front of me. The black hole rotated silently. The incoming energy slash entered the vortex. Then, it disappeared. Completely. No explosion. No shockwave. Not even a ripple. Black Zay froze. His eyes widened. This was impossible. He had always believed that his S-rank talent was enough to dominate everyone nearby. But this Chinese man had destroyed his strongest attack with only one gesture. You're actually capable. Black Zay gritted his teeth. His killing intent became even stronger. He swung his sword repeatedly. .1/.10 slashes. Dozens of black energy blades filled the sky. Horizontal cuts, vertical strikes, diagonal attacks. Every possible angle was sealed. The terrifying sword energy covered the entire area like countless black snakes tearing through the air. Sakura's expression changed. Multiple void slashes. Black Zay is serious now. This person is definitely dead. On the ground, when Ruan's eyes lit up, hope appeared inside her heart again. She wanted to see me lose. She wanted to see the person who had crushed her completely destroyed. She wanted revenge, but I remained standing, calm. Indifferent, I slowly opened my hand. The black hole appeared again. The countless energy blades rushed toward it, like insects flying into an endless abyss. They were swallowed one after another. No explosion, no resistance. The attacks simply vanished. The entire battlefield fell. Silent, I looked at Black Zay. There was even a hint of disappointment in my eyes. So, this is all you can do? Those simple words felt like a humiliation. Black Zay's face twisted. He turned around and shouted at his companions. What are you waiting for? Attack together. Kill him. The remaining 5 immediately activated their talents. Different abilities appeared one after another. Rank talent. Poison enhancement. One person released dark green poisonous energy. The poison wrapped around Black Zay's katana. The blade instantly became covered in a terrifying green glow. The surrounding grass withered after touching the poisonous aura. Rank talent. Levitation. Another person released blue energy. Black Zay's body slowly rose into the air. 10 meters above the ground that he gained complete aerial advantage. The remaining 3 activated support abilities. B rank talent, Frenzy. B rank talent, Battle Spirit, Enhancement. 2 powerful buffs entered Black Zay's body. His aura exploded. His strength, his speed, his explosive power, everything increased dramatically. That moment. Black Zay looked like a killing demon floating above the battlefield. His hair danced wildly. His eyes were filled with madness. Insect, you completely angered me. Since you want to die, I will show you my ultimate form. Ultimate, Void Split Slash. His roar shook the night sky. He held the katana with both hands. All his power gathered into the blade. Then he swung downward. Boom! A massive black and green energy blade formed. It was more than twice as powerful as his previous attacks. The destructive force tore through the air. The poisonous energy spread everywhere. The ground cracked under the pressure. This was the strongest attack created by their entire team. Sakura shouted excitedly. The final strike. No one can stop it. When Ruan clenched her fists, her eyes were filled with madness. She could already imagine me being crushed, but I still didn't move. I only raised one hand. The black hole in my palm expanded, larger, deeper, more terrifying. It looked like an endless abyss capable of swallowing everything in the world. The giant black-green blade crashed down. Boom! It entered the black hole and disappeared. The attack that carried the power of 6 people vanished completely. The wind stopped. The sound disappeared. Everything became silent. Above the battlefield, Black Zay froze. His expression changed from confidence to disbelief. His strongest attack, the attack he believed could kill anyone, was gone. Just like that moment, I disappeared. Black Zay's eyes widened. He had no time to react, because the next second, I was already standing in front of him. I had Lin Wanqing and Lu Siki organize the supplies. They immediately started sorting through everything we had collected, replacing damaged items and separating what was actually useful. As for me, I used spatial exchange and appeared directly in front of Ruan. My voice was cold. Hand over your survival package. At this point, when Ruan had already given up, she looked up at me. A bitter smile appeared on her face. What? Are you finally going to kill me? I nodded. Originally, I planned to keep you alive. Slowly, let you experience everything I experienced. But you chose to throw away even the last bit of dignity. You were willing to become a servant of those people from that country. My vehicle, you no longer deserve to enter. When Ruan laughed weakly. A broken laugh. If I'm going to die anyway, why should I give you my supplies? I looked at her calmly. Because there are many ways to die. One option, I end it immediately. Fast. Clean. The other, I leave you alive. I let you suffer. I let every second become painful until you finally collapse. Choose. You only get one chance. When Ruan trembled, the pride she had maintained for so long finally cracked. She had always survived by pretending to be weak. The innocent expression, the gentle voice, the appearance that made people want to protect her. She was skilled at manipulating people's emotions. For years, it had always worked. She had never suffered a true defeat. Until now. Until Qiao Bei. She slowly lowered her eyes. I'll give you the package. But before I die, I only want to know one thing. What exactly did I do to you? Why are you treating me like this? I looked at her. My expression remained unchanged. You don't deserve to know. Then I started counting. 3, 2. When Ruan's body shook, the color drained from her face. Fine, I'll give it to you. She no longer resisted. She opened her storage space, then took out the survival package that I accepted it without expression. The moment it entered my backpack, a cold flash appeared. The knife moved. The blade pierced through her back, straight into her heart. When Ruan's body froze, her eyes slowly lost focus. I leaned close to her. My voice was quiet, but every word carried the weight of the past. This knife, I return it exactly as you gave it to me. From today onward, we are even. No more hatred. No more connection. Her body slowly collapsed. The woman who had spent her life calculating others finally disappeared into the dust of the apocalypse that I activated the Hongmeng black hole. All the bodies around me were swallowed. The energy transformed into power. This time, the harvest was significant. Point 1 S rank. Point 3 A dash ranks. My attributes increased again. Constitution 102, agility 102, spirit 102. My strength continued to grow. After that, Lin Wanqing and Lu Siki returned to the vehicle. The system announcement sounded. First stage supply station completed. The team will now proceed to the second stage. Current surviving members of vehicle E86. 3 vehicle owner selection activated. Vehicle owner authority. Complete control over all decisions and commands. Candidates: Chao Bei, Lin Wanqing, Lu Siki. Voting time 60 seconds. Lu Siki immediately spoke. This doesn't even need a vote. The vehicle owner should obviously be Chao Bei. I will follow your decisions from now on. Lin Wanqing nodded. Same. We will follow Chao Bei's arrangements. I didn't refuse. The vehicle owner controlled everything. There was no reason for me to give that authority away. 60 seconds later, the result was announced. Vehicle owner confirmed. Chao Bei new permissions unlocked. A86 control authority activated. Vehicle movement can now be controlled by the owner. Passengers may leave and return freely. Failure to arrive at the next destination within the required time will trigger unknown punishment. Vehicle upgrade system unlocked. All upgrade permissions granted to owner Chao Bei. Future disaster events will occur randomly. The road ahead contains endless dangers. Then another notification appeared. Current vehicle has 3 empty seats. Would you like to match new passengers? I immediately confirmed. Matching. Lu Siki looked at me. Should we open the survival packages now? Open them. Previously, I didn't allow anyone to use the shared storage, because when Ruan was still a hidden danger. Now that she is gone, you can use it normally. First, organize your personal belongings. Move unnecessary items into shared storage. Then open the packages together. Everyone followed my instructions. After organizing everything, Lu Siki opened the first package. The system notification appeared that would times 100 iron times 100 cloth times 100 components times 100 power core times 1. She looked confused. What are these for? Vehicle upgrades. I explained. The road ahead will only become more dangerous. If we want to survive, we need to strengthen the vehicle. Adding the supplies we had taken from the enemy, we now had nearly 900 basic materials and 9 power cores, enough for a basic upgrade. But I didn't rush. 3 new passengers were about to arrive. They might bring more supplies. More importantly, I remembered what happened in my previous life. The first disaster after arrival was extreme cold. But this time, everything had changed. I couldn't assume the future would follow the same path. I decided to wait. Observe first, then act. Before the new passengers arrived, there was something I needed to tell Lin Wanqing. She was my first bonded companion, and her ability was too valuable. I looked at Lu Siki. Go drive. She immediately frowned. Why me? Who else? She looked toward Lin Wanqing, but Lin Wanqing didn't react, so Lu Siki reluctantly moved to the driver's seat. Although she didn't want to admit it, she also wanted more chances to show her value. After all, Chao Bei's strength was beyond imagination. From the rearview mirror, she saw something that shocked her. At some point, Lin Wanqing was sitting beside me. I looked at Lin Wanqing. You already noticed. I can use your spatial exchange ability. Yes. You're not curious? She smiled slightly. I am. But I know what questions should be asked. I sighed inwardly. This woman really understood boundaries. I stopped hiding. My ability comes from the women around me. I can obtain their talents and strengthen them, turn them into my own power. Lin Wanqing's eyes widened slightly. She finally understood. That explained everything. Why my spatial exchange was so much stronger than hers. Why my control was so perfect. Then I added, "This means I may have many women in the future." Her expression remained calm. "I understand. In this apocalypse, only the strong survive. The stronger you become, the safer I feel. So, no matter how many people are around you, I accept it." I looked at her. There was no jealousy and no anger. Only trust. I gently touched her hair. "You are smart, and you understand me. Don't worry. No matter how many people come later, your position will always be special." At that moment, three strange spatial fluctuations suddenly appeared inside the vehicle. The air distorted. Light flashed. Then, three figures appeared in the empty seats. Three familiar faces. They looked directly at me, and I immediately recognized them. The three spatial fluctuations slowly faded. Three figures appeared in the empty seats inside the vehicle. Wang Chao, Han Tingting, Su Yao. The seating arrangement was now Lu Siki, Su Yao and Tingting, Wang Chao Lin Wanqing, Chao Bei. The moment Su Yao appeared, she immediately recognized Lu Siki sitting nearby. Her eyes lit up with surprise. "Siki, it's you. I can't believe we actually found a classmate." Behind her, Han Tingting also quickly recognized everyone inside the vehicle. She subconsciously grabbed Wang Chao's arm, her voice filled with excitement. "Wang Chao, our luck is incredible. We actually met classmates." Her gaze swept across the vehicle. "And we even found Wanqing. She has always been calm and thoughtful. With her here, we definitely won't be lost in this apocalypse." Meanwhile, Wang Chao silently observed the entire vehicle. His eyes quickly counted everyone present. Only two men. Everyone else. Women. A faint smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. To him. This lineup was perfect. There was plenty of room for him to establish control, especially when he saw Chao Bei. The image of the old Chao Bei from school appeared in his mind. A kind person. Always giving in. Always helping others. A typical weak personality. Someone easy to control. In Wang Chao's eyes, the authority of this vehicle should naturally belong to him. After making his decision, he casually asked, "So, what exactly is the situation now? Who is the owner of this vehicle?" The atmosphere instantly became quiet. Lin Wanqing and Lu Siki answered almost at the same time. "Chao Bei. He is the vehicle owner." Lin Wanqing frowned slightly. Her cold gaze landed on Wang Chao. "Wang Chao, you just arrived. Instead of asking about the situation or what happened, the first thing you ask is who controls the vehicle. What exactly are you trying to do?" Han Tingting also looked confused. "That's right. We were lucky enough to reunite during the apocalypse. Shouldn't we first understand what happened? Why are you immediately concerned about the vehicle owner?" But before she finished speaking, Wang Chao suddenly raised his hand and pushed her aside. His face showed no happiness from the reunion, only arrogance, only the confidence of someone who had survived a disaster. After experiencing the first station, you still don't understand? The owner of a vehicle determines whether everyone survives. If the owner makes the wrong decisions, the entire team dies. If those people had listened to me before, how could everyone have died? At this moment, I had remained silent. I leaned against the seat. My eyes were calm. My voice carried a faint pressure. "Oh, so, you want to become the owner?" Wang Chao immediately straightened his body. His expression became even more confident. "That's right. This vehicle's owner should be me. I possess an A-rank talent. Barrier shield." A proud smile appeared on his face. "I can create a defensive shield with a 1.5-meter radius. It can block any attack." In the previous station, the entire vehicle was wiped out. Everyone died. Only Tingting and I survived, because my shield protected us. He continued speaking with increasing arrogance. The people on that vehicle were too confident. They thought they were strong. But in the end, they all died. They were nothing but fools. His confidence was almost overflowing in his mind. His defensive ability was absolute. With this power, he deserved to control everyone. But his so-called invincible shield was far from what he imagined. The truth was simple. It could only block attacks below a certain strength. Anything beyond that threshold would instantly destroy it. The reason Wang Chao believed his ability was unbeatable was simply because the enemies he encountered were too weak. A person trapped inside a well, always. Believes the sky above is the entire world that I looked at him. Another person who couldn't recognize reality. Another person walking toward death by his own choice. Lin Wanqing understood my thoughts better than anyone. She knew I didn't want to reveal my true strength too early, so she stepped forward. Her cold gaze swept over Wang Chao. An A-rank defensive talent alone doesn't qualify you to compete for vehicle ownership. Forget Chao Bei. Even I can easily defeat you. Then she turned toward Han Tingting and Su Yao. Her expression softened slightly. Yao Yao, Tingting. Since we are classmates, and now we are surviving together, why don't we introduce our talents? Understanding each other's abilities will make cooperation easier. Wang Chao's expression darkened. He wanted to argue, but Han Tingting immediately grabbed his arm. She stopped him. Han Tingting was wearing a soft pink and white knit outfit. Her gentle appearance made her look especially approachable. My talent actually isn't very impressive. She lowered her head slightly. When the apocalypse started, I happened to be holding a seashell I brought from home. I grew up near the ocean. Whenever I missed home, I would look at it. That was when I awakened my B-rank talent. The ocean's gift. The ability is simple. Every day, I can obtain one random seafood ingredient from the ocean. That's all. The moment she finished speaking, Lu Siki's eyes immediately lit up. That's amazing. With this ability, we can eat seafood every day. No more dry compressed food. I also nodded slightly that a hint of satisfaction appeared in my eyes. If Han Tingting became one of my bonded companions, her talent would be greatly enhanced at a constant supply of fresh seafood, that a stable food source, that a solution to one of the biggest problems in the apocalypse. This was not a weak support ability, that it was an extremely valuable survival talent. Lin Wanqing also understood this. She smiled and comforted Han Tingting. Tingting, don't underestimate yourself. In an apocalypse, food and water are always the most important resources. A talent that can continuously provide food is more valuable than many combat abilities. You have already helped this vehicle greatly. After speaking, she turned towards Su Yao. Yao Yao, what about you? What talent did you awaken? Su Yao was completely different from Han Tingting. She had a bright and energetic personality. Her outfit was equally eye-catching, that a red and white sports top, but a slim athletic outfit, a high ponytail, that a few loose strands of hair framed her face. She looked lively, confident, and full of energy. Hearing the question, she smiled openly. My talent is more ordinary. It's only C rank. When the apocalypse started, I was playing a board game with friends. I happened to be holding a steel card from 3 kingdoms. My talent became C rank talent. Steal. The rule is simple. If I actively touch someone's waist, I can randomly steal one item from their backpack. The limitation is I can only use it once per target every day. After hearing everyone's abilities, I quietly thought, this new group of passengers was far more interesting than expected. The entire vehicle fell silent after Su Yao revealed her talent. Everyone else, her C-rank ability, Steal, seemed ordinary at best. It was just a small trick, that a skill for secretly taking things from others. It had no direct combat power, no defensive ability, and no obvious value in the apocalypse. Nobody paid much attention to it. But in my eyes, this was a hidden god. Tier ability. After the beginner stage, every survivor would eventually collect life-saving items, powerful equipment, special cards, rare supplies. If I could quietly take those things away before fighting them, then every future battle would become much easier. Ordinary people could never approach powerful enemies closely enough to activate such a skill. But for me, with my enhanced spatial replacement ability, getting close enough to touch someone's waist was almost effortless. And the most important thing, a thought suddenly flashed through my mind. The Red Rose enhancement system. A bold possibility appeared. If my guess was correct, then this apocalypse highway would become a treasure road. Resources would no longer be a problem. At that moment, Lin Wanqing beside me had completely accepted her new position. She no longer viewed herself as just a survivor. She had already placed herself as the person managing my future team, and she immediately noticed what I was thinking. She leaned closer to my ear. Her voice was so quiet that only the two of us could hear. Chao Bei, these 2 girls' talents should both be useful to you, right? Which one do you want to approach first? I can help you. In Lin Wanqing's mind, The so-called red rose bond was simply a relationship between a man and a woman. She knew someone as powerful as me could never have only one woman in the apocalypse. Instead of becoming jealous, it was smarter to support me to become the person who helped me build my team. Hearing her understanding words, a wave of satisfaction surged inside me. Having Lin Wanqing help me would save me countless troubles. Unable to suppress my emotions, I reached out and pulled her slender waist into my arms. Then I lowered my head and kissed her cheek that my eyes were filled with appreciation. Wanqing, you really understand me. Then let's approach Su Yao first. Everyone inside the vehicle witnessed that scene. The most shocked person was Su Yao. She and Lin Wanqing had always been known as the two female goddesses of their class. Su Yao was passionate and bright like fire. Lin Wanqing was cold and distant like ice. Normally, Lin Wanqing never showed any interest in boys that in everyone's eyes. These two girls were impossible to pursue. Yet nobody expected. Only one day after the apocalypse began, the unreachable Lin Wanqing had actually become close with Chao Bei. The same Chao Bei who everyone once considered an overly kind and ordinary person. Wait, Wanqing, what is going on? Lin Wanqing remained completely calm. There was no embarrassment, no hesitation. She simply smiled. Come here, Yao Yao. Sit beside me. I'll explain everything. With that, Chao Bei and Su Yao switched seats. Han Tingting looked at the two of them in surprise. But the person with the greatest shock was Wang Chao that he sat silently in the corner. His mind was completely shaken. The goddess he had admired was taken by Chao Bei. A normal guy couldn't even say a few words to Lin Wanqing. Yet Chao Bei could make her act like this. There was only one explanation. Chao Bei's true ability was terrifyingly powerful. At this moment, Wang Chao finally realized something. Maybe he had completely misjudged Chao Bei, but instead of giving up his ambition, a different thought appeared. What if Chao Bei was strong? He was still too soft-hearted. A person like that could always be controlled, as long as he stayed patient, as long as he waited for opportunities, as long as he performed well and gained everyone's trust. Eventually, he could replace Chao Bei. He could take the vehicle owner's position. Suppressing the shock in his eyes, Wang Chao lowered his head. He silently observed everything. That a long-term plan had already formed in his mind. Meanwhile, Lu Siki sat in the driver's seat. Her hands held the steering wheel, but her thoughts were nowhere near the road. Should I take the initiative too? Chao Bei used to like me. Compared with the others, I should have an advantage. In the back seats, Lin Wanqing and Su Yao were quietly talking. Yao Yao, tell me what happened before. Why are you the only one left? What happened to your previous team? The moment she heard the question, the smile on Su Yao's face disappeared. Her eyes became filled with sadness and fear. When the apocalypse started, my friends and I were all playing Three Kingdoms at a board game cafe. All 6 of us awakened abilities, but our activation conditions were too ordinary. Everyone got C rank or D rank talents. No combat abilities. No defense abilities. Nothing useful. Her voice became quieter. At the supply station, we met a group of violent criminals. They wanted our supplies. They immediately tried to rob us. We were too naive. We thought this was still some kind of survival game. We didn't realize the world had already changed. That mistake angered them. They attacked without hesitation. My teammates, one by one, they died in front of me. Su Yao clenched her fists. During that chaos, she accidentally touched one of the attackers and discovered a special item, an invisibility card. She stole it and survived by hiding. Lin Wanqing silently listened. The situation was almost exactly what she expected. Then she sighed softly. Yao Yao, our situation at the first supply station wasn't much different. If Chao Bei hadn't appeared, even if I survived, I probably wouldn't have had the courage to continue living. Su Yao immediately understood the hidden meaning. Both she and Lin Wanqing were exceptionally beautiful women. In normal times, beauty was an advantage. But in the apocalypse, beauty could become a dangerous burden. It attracted people with bad intentions. Wanqing, is Chao Bei really that strong? Lin Wanqing nodded. Stronger than you can imagine. Someone with an S-rank offensive talent, in front of Chao Bei, was defeated with a single slap. Su Yao's eyes widened. That powerful? Then, you really are lucky. From the beginning, You were already assigned to the same vehicle as him. A hint of envy appeared in her heart. Why didn't I meet someone like Chao Bei from the beginning? Lin Wanqing naturally noticed Su Yao's thoughts. After all, the two of them had always been compared throughout college. Now they had met again in the apocalypse. Perhaps it really was fate. I know what you were thinking. Yao Yao, I have never been a narrow-minded person. If you want, I am willing to share Chao Bei with you. Su Yao froze, but Lin Wanqing's expression quickly became serious. However, the apocalypse is extremely dangerous. Chao Bei has no reason to protect someone unrelated to him. Su Yao stared at her. She couldn't believe those words came from Lin Wanqing. The woman who had always been cold and proud was actually saying this so calmly, it almost sounded more like something Su Yao herself would say. After a moment of silence, Su Yao smiled. I understand. But you really don't mind sharing someone like him with me. What if he favors me more? Wouldn't you get jealous? Lin Wanqing smiled confidently. I trust myself. Hearing this, Su Yao didn't hesitate. She laughed brightly. Then, I'll accept your kindness. The moment they reached an unspoken understanding, Lin Wanqing quietly glanced toward me. Her meaning was obvious. She was telling me, leave Su Yao to her. That I saw everything. That a faint smile appeared in my heart that I had to admit. Having someone like Lin Wanqing as my supporter made things far too convenient. Originally, I thought I would need to slowly build trust with Su Yao, but with Lin Wanqing helping guide the situation, the most difficult step had already been completed. Now, I only needed to confirm my guess. Everyone, give me the supply gift packs you received. Su Yao didn't hesitate. She immediately transferred her gift pack to me. Han Tingting followed. Even Wang Chao, although slightly unwilling inside, understood the situation that I was the officially recognized owner of the vehicle. Managing and distributing resources was naturally my responsibility. After weighing the situation, he suppressed his dissatisfaction and handed over his supplies as well. Soon, all the resources were gathered. After counting everything, I had wood times 1200, iron times 1200, cloth times 1200, parts times 1200, power cores times 12 with enough resources in hand. I immediately opened the vehicle upgrade interface that I quickly browsed through the available modifications. Then my eyes stopped on one option, that double-level elevated RV upgrade. The required materials were wood times 500, iron times 500, cloth times 400, parts times 400. Power cores times for the cost was significant, but it was absolutely worth it. As more women joined the vehicle in the future, I needed completely independent private space. For my future plans, this upgrade was necessary. Without hesitation, I confirmed the upgrade. The vehicle upgrade sequence activated. Buzz. The entire E86 began to shake. Mechanical sounds echoed throughout the vehicle. Metal structures expanded. Parts connected. Panels assembled. Everyone inside froze. What is happening? The vehicle is shaking. Is the vehicle upgrading? Wang Chao's eyes immediately lit up. He stepped forward and pretended to speak like an experienced survivor. Of course it's upgrading. It should have happened earlier. This broken vehicle needs stronger power and better defense. Otherwise, future routes will become a burden for everyone. Nobody knew. My reason for upgrading the RV wasn't mainly for the team. It was for myself. 10 minutes passed quickly. With the final mechanical lock sound, the system announcement appeared. Upgrade complete. A86 has evolved into a double-level RV. The original vehicle had gained an additional floor. The structure was now divided into 2 levels. The first floor became the public area. The second floor became private rooms. The only problem, the sound insulation was still not perfect. I raised my hand. My fingers moved slightly. Space replacement activated. In the next second, my figure and Su Yao's disappeared from the first floor. Then we appeared directly on the second floor. Su Yao was startled. She looked around the private space. Then, after receiving the information from the system, she immediately understood the situation. She looked at me curiously. I'm curious. What exactly did Lin Wanqing tell you about me? I looked at her. She told you that I could protect you. Su Yao nodded. Yes. She said you were strong enough to keep me alive. I smiled faintly. Did she also tell you that I don't protect everyone? Su Yao nodded. I understand. After saying that, she slowly walked toward me. I hope you truly want me. Not just because you need someone to survive. I looked at her. Su Yao's expression was serious. You don't need to worry. My feelings are genuine. Someone Lin Wanqing recognizes. I also wanted to personally see what kind of person you are. I smiled. Then show me your sincerity. Meanwhile, on the first floor, Wang Chao stood there with a dark expression. Finally, he couldn't hold back. This is the person you chose as vehicle owner. The materials everyone risked their lives to obtain. He doesn't use them to strengthen the engine. He doesn't reinforce the vehicle defense. Instead, he wastes resources creating a second floor. How is this useful? His voice became louder. This kind of decision is completely irrational. He looked around, then suddenly noticed something. Chao Bei was gone, and Su Yao had disappeared too. Before he could figure out where they went, a faint sound came from upstairs. The poor sound insulation made everything obvious. Wang Chao froze. They went upstairs. His expression became uglier. A wave of anger surged through him. Why are we sitting here doing nothing, while he is upstairs enjoying himself? I want to see what they're doing. Wang Chao stepped toward the stairs, but before he could move further, Lin Wanqing spoke. You cannot go upstairs. Wang Chao immediately turned around. Anger burned in his eyes. Why are you stopping me? Lin Wanqing looked at him calmly. Because I can kill you right now. Her voice contained no joking tone. The killing intent was real. Wang Chao's expression changed, but he quickly recovered. Kill me. Don't forget. The vehicle is a safe zone. If you kill me, you won't survive either. Lin Wanqing nodded. Correct. I cannot kill you here. But I can separate your leg from your body. The moment she finished speaking, space energy appeared. A small piece of Wang Chao's hair instantly disappeared, then appeared several meters away. The strand slowly fell to the ground. Wang Chao's face turned pale. He stared at Lin Wanqing in disbelief. The woman he once admired was now terrifyingly cold. Lin Wanqing, are you crazy? Everyone can see your relationship with Chao Bei. Now he is upstairs with Su Yao. And you don't care. Instead, you're stopping me. What are you thinking? Did the apocalypse destroy your judgment? Han Tingting also looked confused. She couldn't understand Lin Wanqing either, but Lin Wanqing remained expressionless. This is between Chao Bei and me. It has nothing to do with you. I will say it one more time. No one is allowed upstairs. Do not disturb Chao Bei. Wang Chao was indeed afraid of her ability. Even though his anger was burning, he had no choice but to suppress it. He returned to his seat. Still unwilling, he lowered his voice and complained to Han Tingting. Just wait. Following these people, following Chao Bei, eventually we will all die. He wastes survival resources. He mixes personal feelings with decisions. This vehicle will be destroyed by him sooner or later. Han Tingting quickly whispered. Wang Chao, stop saying things like this. We are all on the same vehicle now. Creating more trouble won't help anyone. Wang Chao looked at her angrily. Naive. How did I end up with a girlfriend like you? Half an hour later, I couldn't help but sigh. College life really was wonderful. At that moment, a system notification sounded. Red Rose bond established. Su Yao Red Rose number. 02 activation condition. Physical bond level. LV2 current skill enhancement multiplier. 20x Red Rose talent. C rank Steel original effect. By touching a target's waist, the user can obtain one item slot or one item from the target's inventory at will. Note: each target can only be affected once per day. Enhanced effect. By touching a target's waist, the user can obtain 20 times the amount from one item slot or one item in the target's inventory at will. Note: each target can only be affected once per day. I felt a surge of excitement. I hadn't expected Su Yao to become my bonded companion so easily. But what pleased me even more was the enhanced version of her steel ability. It worked exactly as I predicted. With this ability, resource shortages would no longer be a problem. Not only that, Su Yao's own level had also directly increased to level 2. Her lively, straightforward personality was something I genuinely liked. That moment, the apocalypse system announcement suddenly echoed throughout. The vehicle. Warning. High-temperature disaster zone reached. Within the next 30 minutes. Environmental temperature will continue rising to 50 degrees Celsius and will keep increasing. Extreme heat warning activated. Passengers, prepare for heat protection immediately. Vehicle owner, upgrade the vehicle as soon as possible to reduce the survival threat caused by high temperatures. 50 degrees. Isn't that enough to cook people alive? We're already wearing the thinnest clothes possible. We can't exactly take everything off. Wang Chao immediately seized the opportunity. His tone was filled with criticism. I said it before. The resources we collected are incredibly valuable. How could we waste them on building a second floor just for comfort? Those materials should have been used to install cooling equipment and strengthen the vehicle against disasters. Now look, how are we supposed to survive this heat? Lin Wanqing remained silent. She trusted me. She knew I had a solution. That I also clearly heard the system warning. That a faint smile appeared on my lips. So, the disaster had changed. In my previous life, the apocalypse began with freezing cold. But this time, the beginning was extreme heat. It proved that not upgrading the vehicle immediately had been the correct decision. I opened my inventory. Current remaining resources: wood times 700, iron times 700, cloth times 800, parts times 800, power cores times 8. It was time to show them what I could really do. First, I transferred the remaining materials to everyone in the vehicle. Su Yao received. Wood times 700 Lin Wanqing received. Iron times 700 Lu Siki received. Cloth times 800 Han Tingting received. Parts times 800 Wang Chao received. Power cores times 8. Then I returned upstairs. Su Yao was resting on the bed. I wrapped my arms around her waist. She slightly trembled. Her eyes carried a shy expression. You're unbelievable. Do you really still have energy? She had no idea. The 700 wood materials she had just received had already disappeared, quietly taken away by my enhanced steel ability. My inventory now contained wood times 14, 000. I didn't answer. Instead, I lightly moved my fingers. Spatial replacement activated. In the next moment, Su Yao disappeared from the second floor. She instantly appeared back in the first floor passenger area. At the same time, Lin Wanqing's figure disappeared from downstairs. A moment later, she appeared beside me. Upstairs, I lowered my head and gently kissed her. My arms naturally wrapped around her waist. Of course, the 700 iron materials in Lin Wanqing's inventory also disappeared. My inventory increased. Iron times 14, 000. Wanqing, it's really great having you. Lin Wanqing smiled. Chao Bei, I'm your permanent teammate. I activated spatial replacement again. Lin Wanqing disappeared. In the blink of an eye, Lu Siki appeared beside me. I naturally held her. Her face immediately turned red. She opened her mouth, wanting to say something. But before she could, space energy pulled her away. She returned to the driver's seat. Lu Siki sat there in confusion. Her thoughts were a mess. So fast. I wasn't even prepared. Before she could recover, Han Tingting appeared upstairs. I held her waist. The atmosphere instantly became awkward. Han Tingting looked nervous. Chao Bei, don't do this. Wang Chao is still downstairs. My expression remained calm. Then, what if he wasn't? Han Tingting froze. Before she could answer, she was sent back. Downstairs, she returned to her seat. Her face was flushed. Wang Chao naturally noticed that his girlfriend had disappeared for a moment. Seeing her strange expression, his face darkened. Where did you go just now? What happened? Han Tingting was completely confused. She didn't know how to answer Dati that moment. I appeared directly in front of Wang Chao. My hand reached toward his waist. The 8 power cores in his inventory immediately entered mine. Wang Chao saw me appear. All the dissatisfaction he had accumulated finally exploded. So now you decide to distribute resources. What does it matter? You already wasted everything. The high-temperature disaster is coming. I want to see how you plan to lead everyone through this. I looked at him calmly. Since you can't control your mouth, I'll teach you some rules. Before he could react, my hand moved. A slap landed. Pa. The sound echoed through the vehicle. Wang Chao staggered. His body spun 3 times. Then he collapsed onto the floor. He covered his burning cheek. His expression was full of disbelief. That attack was simply too fast. But he refused to accept losing face. He stood up angrily. You attacked while I wasn't prepared. If I activated my ability beforehand, you wouldn't be able to hurt me. I looked at him. Oh, you want another try? Activate your ability now. Let's see. Wang Chao gritted his teeth. Fine. His thoughts moved. His talent activated. A pale yellow protective barrier instantly surrounded his body. He looked confident. With this shield, no attack could break through. I casually raised my hand. Another slap. Boom. The protective barrier shattered instantly. Wang Chao spun 3 more times, then crashed onto the floor. I looked down at him. So you really enjoy being hit. If you have this request again, I can satisfy you anytime. Do you need another one? Wang Chao lay there, completely stunned. The defensive ability he was so proud of couldn't even withstand a casual slap. He shook his head repeatedly. No, no more. I don't need it. Watching her boyfriend lying defeated on the floor, Han Tingting unexpectedly felt no anger, no sympathy, only confusion. What was happening to her? Why did she feel that Chao Bei was the stronger person to rely on? Meanwhile, I returned upstairs. I opened my inventory. The numbers inside were almost ridiculous. Wood times 14, 000, iron times 14, 000, cloth times 16, 000, parts times 16, 000, power cores times 160 this time. I could finally spend resources without hesitation. I looked at the overflowing resources inside my inventory.at. This moment, I was practically a wealthy tycoon of the apocalypse highway. There was no need to carefully calculate every material anymore. My philosophy now was simple. Wherever something was needed, upgrade it. The vehicle upgrade panel appeared before me. 1. Install vehicle air conditioning system. 2. Reinforce entire vehicle with basic alloy armor. 3. Upgrade engine power. 4. Install full vehicle temperature insulation layer. 5. Install full vehicle soundproof system. 6. Extend vehicle length and width. Add 2 additional seats. 7. Upgrade second floor bedroom. Install thicker luxury bed. 8. Install enclosed kitchen. 9. Install integrated bathroom module. 10. Install high temperature explosion resistant tires. 11. Reinforce suspension system. 12. Install basic water purification circulation system. 13. Expand storage capacity. 14. Install large capacity emergency power supply. 15. Install explosion-proof heat insulating privacy Windows 1 upgrade notification after another flashed before my eyes. There were no flashy effects, but every modification was a real improvement. The AE-86 double-layer RV began a complete transformation. The body was expanded and reinforced. The 8-seat cabin became spacious and comfortable in more cramped conditions for the survivors. The alloy armor, upgraded suspension, and explosion-resistant tires gave the vehicle enough stability to handle ruined roads and zombie attacks. Inside the RV, the temperature stabilized at a comfortable 24 degrees. The deadly heat outside became completely irrelevant. Soundproofing, privacy, cooking, washing, resting, and storage. Every basic survival need was now solved. After completing all the upgrades, my remaining resources were wood times 3,200 iron times 1,500 cloth times 4,500 parts times 1,000 power cores times 30. I stopped there. There was no need to spend everything. Tomorrow's situation was still unknown. At the same time, Wang Chao was filled with resentment, but after witnessing my strength, he didn't dare show even the slightest dissatisfaction. Deep inside, he silently swore, "Chao Bei, I will remember today's humiliation. One day, I will return those 2 slaps and not 2.20.200. He clenched his fists, but outwardly, he remained silent. Soon, the temperature inside the vehicle began rising. The heat became unbearable. The girls beside him quickly started sweating. Their hair became damp, sticking against their skin. Wang Chao's anger slowly faded. Instead, a strange expression appeared on his face. In such extreme heat, with everyone struggling from the temperature. Perhaps, if the girls removed some clothing. That scene, his thoughts began drifting. But just as he was imagining things, the entire RV suddenly trembled. Everyone was startled. What happened? Wang Chao immediately asked. Han Tingting lowered her voice. It should be the vehicle upgrading. The same thing happened when the RV was transformed earlier. Wang Chao frowned. I know that. But Chao Bei already wasted all the resources before. Where would he get materials for another upgrade? Su Yao immediately rolled her eyes. A frog sitting at the bottom of a well will never understand what Chao Bei can do. Her words instantly left Wang Chao speechless. He felt extremely frustrated, but he didn't dare argue. He was afraid of receiving another slap. Han Tingting also looked confused. Why was even Su Yao starting to defend Chao Bei? What kind of charm did this man possess? How could he make both of the class's most famous beauties willingly stand beside him? But he already had girls around him. Yet he still acted so intimate with her earlier. Her thoughts became completely tangled. No, I can't betray Wang Chao. At least, he has never betrayed me. Just as she finished thinking that, a cool breeze suddenly swept through the vehicle. The unbearable heat disappeared instantly. The temperature rapidly dropped. The entire modification process was complete. The RV in front of them had completely changed. Wow, cold air. There's air conditioning. There are 2 extra seats in the back. There's even a private bathroom. And a kitchen. The vehicle doesn't shake at all when moving. The suspension is incredible. Everyone looked around in amazement. Brother Chao Bei is amazing. Now we don't have to fear the heat at all. Wang Chao stared at the transformed RV. His expression became extremely ugly a moment ago. He was imagining all kinds of scenes caused by the heat. Now, the entire vehicle was cool and comfortable. Those fantasies were completely gone. Why? How did Chao Bei do this? Why did he always solve every problem? He couldn't even enjoy watching beautiful women anymore. Seeing that the upgrade was complete, it was time to reveal my strength. I moved my fingers slightly. Spatial replacement activated. In an instant, I appeared on the first floor. Su Yao immediately noticed me. She ran over excitedly. Then she jumped directly into my arms. She kissed my cheek. Chao Bei, I love you. I hate hot weather the most. I can't believe you solved it so quickly. In this apocalypse, being in the same vehicle as you is the happiest thing. Lu Siki, who was driving, saw everything through the rearview mirror. Her expression instantly darkened. She was the first person to travel with Chao Bei, yet somehow, Su Yao had already gotten closer to him. Even if she couldn't compare with Lin Wanxing, she should at least be second. She secretly blamed herself that it was all because Chao Bei had assigned her to drive. She never had a chance to show her advantages. Wang Chao still refused to accept reality. He looked at me and questioned, Chao Bei, where did you get so many resources to modify the vehicle? Don't tell me this is just temporary. I looked at him calmly. If I told you, the materials for my Apocalypse starter package were all measured in tens of thousands, would you believe me? Wang Chao's pupils shrank. Tens of thousands. That's impossible. I smiled. Why impossible? Your packages are ordinary survivor packages. Mine is the exclusive package for the chosen one. Su Yao looked at me with admiration. Bei Bei, you're too amazing. She leaned forward and kissed me again. I lightly patted her. Get down first. I need to talk with Wanxing. I moved my fingers. Spatial replacement activated. In the blink of an eye, Lin Wanxing and I appeared on the second floor. For people who survived the apocalypse, as long as their lives were safe, what they truly wanted was simple: good food, good drinks, comfort, and rest. Survival was no longer a problem for me. Comfort was no longer a problem. The only thing missing was satisfying my appetite. And because of that, obtaining Han Tingting's ability became extremely important. Wanxing, how is your progress with Han Tingting? Lin Wanxing shook her head. Wang Chao watches her too closely. I haven't had a chance to talk with her alone. I wrapped my arm around her shoulder. That won't do. I can't bear watching my woman eat dry, tasteless compressed food every day. She knew those words were just sweet talk, but she still couldn't stop her heart from warming. Then what should I do next? I shook my head. Nothing. Leave it to me. A confident smile appeared on my face. I activated spatial replacement. Lin Wanxing disappeared and returned downstairs. The next second, a slender figure appeared inside the second-floor room. It was Han Tingting. For the first time, I was able to carefully examine Han Tingting. My eyes couldn't help but linger on her. She wore a pink off-shoulder knitted sweater paired with a white pleated skirt that barely covered her thighs, white layered socks, black leather shoes, long silky hair falling naturally over her shoulders. Diffuse strands of hair stuck gently against her cheeks, making her already youthful face look even more innocent. The thin-framed glasses on her nose only added to her soft and adorable appearance. But right now, her cheeks were flushed, her eyes were filled with panic. Being alone with me had completely caught her off guard. Chao Bei, her voice trembled slightly. Why did you bring me up here? I stepped closer. Being alone in a room, a man and a woman. What do you think we could possibly be doing? Han Tingting instantly grabbed the edge of her skirt. Her expression became nervous. No, Chow Bei, we can't. I have a boyfriend. I can't betray Wang Chao. I raised an eyebrow. Oh, you're actually this. Loyal. Interesting. Tell me, if Wang Chao is already flirting with other girls outside, would you still say the same thing? Han Tingting immediately shook her head. Impossible. Wang Chao isn't that kind of person. Chao Bei, I know you're stronger than him. But you can't just accuse him without proof. I smiled slightly. Accuse him? I moved closer. Then what if I show you proof? What would you do if I proved Wang Chao really has been deceiving you? Han Tingting froze. She didn't answer. But from her expression, I could tell doubt had already appeared in her heart that I knew I had an opening. Han Tingting, I don't want to force you. That would be meaningless. What I want is for you to willingly choose me, to truly become my person. I looked at her calmly. I'm not interested in every woman. Do you think anyone can make me spend time on them? Look at Lu Siki. She was with me from the very beginning. And until now, she is still only driving the vehicle. Far away in the driver's seat, Lu Siki suddenly sneezed. Achu, who is talking about me? Han Tingting bit her lip. Her eyes became slightly red. But you already have Lin Wanqing and Su Yao. Why do you still want me? I answered seriously. Because you are worth protecting. Because I need you. Those words were completely honest that I really did need her. Her ability could completely solve the problem of food resources in the apocalypse. But to Han Tingting, those words carried a completely different meaning. They felt like warmth spreading through her frozen heart. She had been with Wang Chao for 2 years. During those 2 years, Wang Chao had constantly pressured her to become closer. When she refused, he became impatient. He called her childish. He accused her of pretending to be innocent. But she had never heard him say, I will protect you. Yet now, those words came from me. She lowered her head. After a long struggle, she finally spoke. As long as Wang Chao hasn't betrayed me, I will never be with you. I looked at her. Do you know why I'm so certain? Why I know Wang Chao betrayed you? Han Tingting shook her head. Because his ability isn't what you think it is. You really believe his talent is some kind of energy shield. I pointed toward Wang Chao downstairs. Look carefully. The bump on his head. The faint layer of light around him. The greasy shape. Doesn't it look like something? Han Tingting blinked. Something. What does that prove? Then, her expression suddenly changed. Her eyes widened. She understood that I continued. Your awakening happened because you were holding the seashell from your hometown. Right. Han Tingting slowly nodded. Then I don't even need to ask. That night of the apocalypse, you two definitely weren't together. Who thinks about missing their hometown during that kind of moment? So, Wang Chao must have been beside another woman. Han Tingting trembled. No, that's impossible. You are lying. I looked at her calmly. Really? Then answer me. Has Wang Chao ever told you what object he touched when his ability awakened? Han Tingting froze. She had no answer. I continued. Forget it. I'll take you downstairs. I'll expose the truth in front of everyone. Then you can completely give up on him. When we returned downstairs, Wang Chao had already seen Han Tingting disappear and return, but he didn't dare say anything. After witnessing my strength, he could only stay silent. However, in Han Tingting's eyes, that silence hurt more than anything. This is my boyfriend? When I need him most, he doesn't even dare stand up for me. Her heart slowly sank that I ignored Wang Chao's excuses that I stepped forward, looking down at him. Tell me, what exactly is your talent called? And what object did you touch when you awakened? Wang Chao's body immediately stiffened. Chao. Chao Bei, what are you trying to do? You know the vehicle rules. Team members cannot attack each other. I looked at him coldly. I only want your answer. But if you lie, I have thousands of ways to make you regret it. My voice was calm, but the killing intent behind it was unmistakable. Wang Chao felt his entire body freeze. Facing those eyes, he felt like he was looking at a monster. His legs began trembling that he looked at Han Tingting. Her eyes were filled with tears. She wanted the truth. But Wang Chao didn't dare gamble. Under the threat of death, love, pride, dignity, all became worthless. I'll talk. I'll tell you everything. My talent is indeed A rank. The real name is Protection Suit. The entire vehicle became silent. Han Tingting's expression changed instantly. Her face turned completely pale. Wang Chao hurriedly explained. But I swear, I didn't actually do anything. That night before the apocalypse, I was with a freshman girl in a hotel. I hadn't gone all the way. We had only reached the point where the protection device was opened, and then the apocalypse happened. Please believe me, ting ting. Silence, absolute silence. Then, a system notification sounded. Ding red string binding. Han ting ting red string binding. Han ting ting red string number. 03 trigger condition. Exclusive trust bond level. LV1 current skill enhancement multiplier. 10x red string talent. B rank gift of the ocean original effect. Can randomly obtain one ingredient from the ocean every day enhanced effect. Can randomly obtain 10 ingredients from the ocean every day the moment the system notification appeared. Han Tingting's heart was filled with anger and grief. She stepped forward. Then, slap. A loud slap echoed through the entire vehicle. Wang Chao's face turned sideways from the impact. You are disgusting. You shameless bastard. After releasing all the emotions she had been suppressing, Han Tingting could no longer hold herself together. She turned around and buried her face in Lin Wanqing's arms, crying uncontrollably. Wang Chao had been completely focused on me. He never expected Han Tingting to hit him. His fake cowardly appearance instantly disappeared. His expression twisted with anger. You actually hit me? What did I do wrong? We've been together for 2 years. Everyone knew we were a couple. But you never let me touch you. You kept saying you wanted to save your first time for our wedding night. I think you were just playing with me. I'm a man too. I have normal needs. If you refused to give me what I wanted, was I not allowed to find someone else? Where is the logic in that? His rage exploded. He clenched his fists and stepped forward. But before he could do anything, my figure moved. Slap. Another powerful strike landed on his face. Wang Chao was sent flying again that he crashed heavily onto the ground. After suffering repeated humiliation, his mind completely broke that he struggled to stand. His eyes were filled with hatred. Heh, I understand now. You keep calling me shameless. But what about you? You went upstairs with Chao Bei earlier. Did you already? Before he could finish his disgusting accusation, I acted. Spatial replacement activated. The next second, his tongue was instantly separated. Blood poured from his mouth. Wang Chao desperately covered his lips. Only painful, unclear noises came out that he could no longer insult anyone. I looked at him coldly. Then activated spatial replacement again. His body disappeared. The next moment, Wang Chao appeared inside the vehicle storage room, locked away. Han Tingting looked at Lin Wanqing with tears in her eyes. Wanqing, I really didn't. She was afraid. Afraid that Lin Wanqing would misunderstand. But Lin Wanqing simply hugged her gently. I know. You are not that kind of person. Su Yao also walked over. She smiled. Tingting, relax. We all trust you. Besides, running after Chao Bei yourself doesn't fit your personality. That's more like something I would do. She smiled playfully. Even if you really ended up with Chao Bei someday, it would definitely be because Chao Bei forced you. Her straightforward joke immediately eased the tense atmosphere. Han Tingting, who had been crying moments ago, could not help but laugh. This team really needed someone like Su Yao, someone who could say anything without hesitation. Meanwhile, Lu Siki sat in the driver's seat. Her thoughts were complicated. Why? Even Han Tingting became Chao Bei's woman, but I'm still just the driver. It must be because I rejected him on the first day that I need to find a chance to prove myself. The fourth position. I'm taking it.at that moment. The system notification sounded. Warning. Approaching Flame Mountain mission. Obtain the Heart of Frost, 0/1, current status. Total participants, 80. Arrived vehicles, 1/10 mission rules 1. Only one Heart of Frost exists 2. Regional temperature will continue rising. Maximum temperature, 60 degrees Celsius 3. Once the Heart of Frost leaves Flame Mountain, the area will fully erupt 4. Many cooling plants exist around Flame Mountain. Use resources wisely 5. Mission duration, 6 hours. Those who fail will remain permanently trapped 6. The surviving team possessing the Heart of Frost will receive regional rewards. Mission begins in 3 hours. Countdown started. The vehicle slowly stopped. Lu Siki finally left the driver's seat she hated so much. Wait, the arrival number says January 10th. Does that mean we're the first ones here? I nodded. Our vehicle has absorbed 134 power cores. Our speed is far beyond ordinary vehicles. It's normal that we arrived first. Suyao looked confused. But why does it say 80 people? Isn't there only 6 people per vehicle? I explained. Not every vehicle is the same. Some vehicles may carry 10 people. Others may carry 20, 30, even 50. Han Tingting's expression changed. Only one heart of frost. But there are 10 teams. That means, Lin Wanqing calmly finished her sentence. The other 9 teams have to die. The entire vehicle became silent. The atmosphere instantly became heavy. Even I felt surprised that in my previous life, I had never encountered a mission with such a terrifying death rate. But that didn't matter anymore. This time, I had enough strength that I would survive that I broke the silence. The mission starts in 3 hours. Looks like we need to wait for the other teams. Since we have nothing else to do, let's eat first. I activated Han Tingting's enhanced talent, Gift of the Ocean, the next moment. A pile of fresh seafood appeared that looked like it had just been pulled from the deep sea. A giant king crab, Australian lobster, bluefin tuna, black abalone, prawns, large sea snails, yellow croaker, oysters, northern shrimp. Grouper point 10 different seafood ingredients. The entire vehicle was filled instantly. Everyone froze. The Su Yao was the first to react. Chow Bei, where did you get these treasures? Is this really apocalypse survival? Or are we attending a seafood feast? In the apocalypse, even obtaining one of these ingredients would be extremely difficult. But now, 10 kinds appeared at once. Han Tingting stared at the giant king crab. This feels like my talent. But usually I can only produce small seafood. How did it suddenly become this? I looked at everyone. Who knows how to cook? Han Tingting immediately raised her hand. I can. I know how to prepare seafood. Then I'll leave it to you. We eat first. Because we lacked seasoning, the seafood preparation was simple, steaming, raw seafood. Nothing complicated. Half an hour later, a full seafood feast was ready. I looked at the table. So much food. Such a familiar feeling. In my previous life, simply filling my stomach had been a luxury. After being reborn, I entered the apocalypse immediately. I couldn't even remember how long it had been since I had eaten a proper meal. The girls were equally excited. Even before the apocalypse, a feast like this was rare. Lu Siki wanted to show her value. She quickly broke off a large piece of lobster claw, then handed it to me. Chow Bei, try this first. I shook my head. I have hands. Her expression immediately fell. She quietly wondered why her kindness was always ignored. Meanwhile, I casually picked up an oyster and ate it. Seeing that, everyone stopped being reserved. The meal officially began. While eating, I spoke. Steamed seafood is good, but eating only this will become boring. From now on, collect seasonings whenever possible. Green onions, ginger, garlic, chili, salt, anything useful. Lin Wanqing nodded. But how do we trade with other survivors? I paused, then remembered. The regional trading system had not opened yet. According to my previous life memory, it should activate soon. It won't take long. Lin Wanqing understood immediately. When trading opens, I'll handle negotiations. We still have almost an entire bluefin tuna stored. The quality is excellent. When the market opens, it should be enough to exchange for all the seasonings we need. I smiled. The apocalypse had just begun. But for my team, life was already becoming completely different. Less than an hour remained before the mission began. The other 9 vehicles gradually arrived one after another. When the survivors stepped out of their vehicles, the scene was almost unreal. Under normal circumstances, this kind of sight could only appear on an extremely hot beach. But now, the entire area had become an unbearable furnace. The men had already removed their outer clothing. Most of them were left wearing only shorts. The women were dressed in minimal clothing just to cover themselves. Many girls who originally had long hair had even cut it short. The heat was simply too unbearable. Complaints filled the area. Everyone felt like they were being roasted alive. This weather is insane. It's like the world has completely ended. Who can tell me what's happening? Is this really the apocalypse? I can't take this anymore. Someone just kill me. Maybe I'll wake up after I die. The atmosphere was filled with despair. At the front of the crowd, a middle-aged man slowly walked forward. He was in his early 40s. His hair was thinning. He wore thick, black-rimmed glasses. His body was slightly overweight, with a noticeable belly. His face looked smooth and harmless, but I knew exactly who he was. Huang Dihai, the department head from our university. He looked toward the students and spoke with a calm expression. Everyone has suffered during this journey. Please stay calm. No matter how bad the situation becomes, I will do everything I can to lead everyone out of this dangerous place. As long as we unite and support each other, we will definitely survive. Many inexperienced students actually believed him. They looked at him as if he was their savior. Inside the RV, Lu Siki looked outside. Wait, isn't that Director Huang? I wiped away the condensation on the window. Looking through the glass, I confirmed it really was Huang It that moment. I remembered something from my previous life. When the apocalypse first began, when Ruan was with this man, I couldn't help but laugh coldly. That woman really would do anything to climb higher. While we were talking, the final vehicle arrived. More survivors stepped out. Su Yao suddenly recognized someone. Isn't that our counselor Xinyu? Wow, her appearance and figure are really impressive. Even I have to admit it. Xinyu was 27 years old. Among all the survivors wearing random emergency clothing, she stood out immediately. Her confident appearance and mature charm made her impossible to ignore. Even I couldn't help but glance twice, I had to admit. Compared with mature women, college girls still lack something. Lu Siki happened to notice my expression. Her heart immediately tightened. No, I can't let another woman get ahead of me again. She quickly changed the subject. I heard Director Huang say he wants to lead everyone together. Should we get out and join them? Before I could answer, Lin Wanqing spoke first. Siki, don't be naive. Don't forget, there is only one heart of frost. When everyone's lives are at stake, do you really think Huang Dihai will sacrifice himself to save everyone? Or will he abandon everyone and escape alone? Lu Siki fell silent. She knew Lin Wanqing was right at the same time. Huang Dihai had also noticed Xinyu. His eyes lingered on her figure, but his face showed only a fake polite smile that he quickly approached. Counselor Shun, what a coincidence. I didn't expect we would meet here. With both of us leading this group, we can definitely guide these students out of Flame Mountain. Xinyu looked at him calmly. Unlike those naive students, she wasn't someone who could be easily fooled. She glanced at his fake smile and calculating expression, then spoke directly. Director Huang, we are no longer in school. You are no longer the department head, and I am no longer a counselor. Now, there is only one heart of frost. How do you plan to distribute it? Huang Dihai's smile instantly froze. His friendly expression disappeared. His face became gloomy, seeing the atmosphere turning awkward. A girl named Yu Wenwen immediately interrupted. She needed Huang Dihai to maintain his authority. She pointed toward my RV. Everyone, look over there. That vehicle has been parked there since the beginning. The people inside haven't come out once. And look at the windows. They are covered in condensation. It looks incredibly cool inside. Everyone immediately turned their attention toward my double-layer RV. She's right. That vehicle looks completely different from the environment. Could they have a powerful air conditioning system? Impossible. Our vehicles used all our resources upgrading cooling equipment. But at 50 degrees outside, the air conditioners only blow hot air. They can't lower the temperature at all. There's no point guessing. Let's just go ask. Soon, more than 70 students began moving toward my RV. A large crowd surrounded the vehicle. Inside, Lu Siki saw the approaching crowd. Her expression became nervous. She quickly looked at me. Chao Bei, they're all coming here. What should we do? I glanced at her. Weren't you planning to leave? Now is the perfect chance. You can go join Director Huang. The moment she heard that, she immediately panicked. She grabbed my arm. No, Chao Bei, when did I ever say I wanted to leave? I don't want to go anywhere. I'll follow you forever. I looked at her. This girl is finally understanding the situation. Bring me paper and a pen. A moment later, the materials were ready. I calmly wrote a few lines. Then I pasted the paper directly onto the front windshield. Outside, the crowd immediately noticed. Everyone leaned forward. What does it say? Move closer. Let me see. The words were clear. Vehicle interior temperature, 26 degrees Celsius. Comfortable and cool environment. The heart of frost has already been reserved by this vehicle's owner. Others should stop wasting their effort. Current vehicle has 3 available seats. Only female survivors will be accepted. Those with useful talents may introduce themselves. Limited positions. First come, first serve. The moment they finished reading, the entire crowd fell silent. Then, an uproar erupted. The crowd exploded into chaos. He's way too arrogant. He refuses to even come out and just declares the heart of frost belongs to him. Who does he think he is? He's looking down on everyone. The anger spread quickly. Even Huang Dihai's expression darkened. He adjusted his glasses and spoke with obvious dissatisfaction. Young people these days have become completely lawless. They don't even respect their elders anymore. Someone hiding inside a vehicle and leaving only a note behind. When we return to school, I will definitely report this behavior and demand disciplinary action. His words sounded righteous, but everyone could hear the hidden meaning that he wanted control. The heat had already pushed many people to their limits. Several girls who heard about the conditions inside my RV immediately became interested. Point 1 step forward. My ability is B-rank plant growth. I can accelerate plant development and cultivate edible wild plants. It would be very useful for survival. Another raised her hand. I have C-rank origin identification. I can identify herbs, poisons, and track resources through traces. I have B-rank lighting. I can illuminate large areas in darkness and help search dangerous places. My ability is C-rank light movement. I am more agile than ordinary people and can avoid attacks more easily. One after another, they introduced their abilities. Most were C-rank or B-rank. Mostly support abilities that I watched silently from inside the vehicle. Honestly, I wasn't impressed. None of them were worth changing my plans for. So I simply lost interest. That I lightly rubbed my thumb and index finger together. Space energy instantly gathered. The next moment, a figure suddenly appeared. In the middle of the crowd, everyone around him jumped back in shock. What happened? Someone just appeared out of nowhere. He came from the vehicle. Someone recognized him. That's Wang Chao from the aviation department. Immediately, several familiar faces surrounded him. Wang Chao, tell us. What exactly is inside that vehicle? What happened? But Wang Chao couldn't answer properly. His tongue had already been cut off. All that came out were unclear sounds. People tried to understand. Did he say Chao Bei isn't human? Who isn't human? Liu Bei. Maybe he said Chao Pei. Wang Chao desperately shook his head. He forced out the same name repeatedly. Chao Bei. Chao Bei. Only after several attempts did someone finally understand. He said Chao Bei. The moment Huang Dihai heard that name, his confidence immediately returned. The person inside was Chao Bei, a student. His old identity as department head instantly came back. He stepped forward. His neck veins bulged as he shouted toward the RV. Chao Bei, by the authority of your department head, I officially order you to come out immediately. His voice echoed across the burning landscape. Then came the moral lecture. If your vehicle really maintains 26 degrees inside, then open the door. Let everyone enter and escape the heat. What? Why should you alone enjoy such valuable resources? Huang Dihai's expression became increasingly righteous. We are all teachers and students from the same university. When disaster strikes, we should help each other, even if we weren't close before. In this apocalypse, you should extend your hand and save everyone. You are hiding inside your comfortable vehicle while everyone else suffers outside. How can you justify that? His voice became louder. You call this survival? This is selfishness. Extreme selfish thinking. Only caring about yourself while ignoring others. The surrounding survivors, already exhausted from the heat, slowly became influenced by his words. People began shouting. He's right. We're all classmates. Why should he get everything? Open the door. Everyone should share. Inside the RV, Su Yao looked at me curiously. Chao Bei, your actions are making everyone oppose you. What benefit does this bring us? I looked outside at the noisy crowd. There is no benefit. They are not even a threat. My voice remained calm. But in the apocalypse, I want to destroy unrealistic fantasies as early as possible. I looked through the window. Their fate has already been decided. Death will eventually come for every one of them. If their lives are already hanging by a thread, why should I let this old man continue using empty ideals to control everyone? I paused. Then a thought crossed my mind. Huang Dihai's ability, Whole creation that had happened to be the perfect match against one Ruan's ability. Maybe. Fate really wanted them together. I raised 2 fingers. Space energy moved. The next instant, Huang Dihai, who had been shouting just moments ago, suddenly split apart. His body separated in the middle. Blood sprayed across the ground. The crowd froze. Every person who had been shouting moments earlier, every person who had demanded that I open the vehicle, their expressions completely changed. Only fear remained. What happened? How did Director Huang die? Who attacked him? No one even got close. Everyone looked around in panic. Nobody understood. Except Wang Chao. He knew exactly what happened. His fear completely consumed him. His broken mouth moved slightly, but he didn't dare make a single sound. Among the silent crowd, one person finally stepped forward. Xinyu. She had been watching everything quietly. From the moment she learned the person inside the RV was Chao Bei, a strange feeling appeared in her heart, that a feeling of wanting to get closer, a feeling of belonging. She suspected it was related to her awakened ability. She raised her hand, then called toward the RV. Chao Bei, can I come aboard? Su Yao immediately recognized her. That's Counselor Shun. Chao Bei, let her in. She's obviously useful. Lu Siki immediately became unhappy. She pouted. Even if she's our counselor, that doesn't mean she can just enter. She hasn't even explained her ability. Chao Bei isn't someone who accepts people just because they're beautiful. Anyone without a useful ability shouldn't expect special treatment. The moment she finished speaking, I moved my fingers. Space shifted. The next second, Xinyu appeared inside the RV. Lu Siki froze. Her expression was full of disbelief. Wait. What? How come she didn't even explain her ability? Why did she get accepted immediately? What am I missing? Xinyu calmly looked around the vehicle. Within seconds, she understood the situation. There was only one man inside. Everyone else was a female classmate. She no longer cared about her former identity as a counselor. In the apocalypse, survival mattered more than titles. She looked directly at me. Chao Bei, my ability is an A-rank talent called luck. I don't know if that is enough to earn me a place on your vehicle. Lu Siki couldn't help muttering quietly. Another A-rank ability. I looked at Xunyu. Then tell me what your ability actually does. She nodded. When the apocalypse arrived, I was holding the lucky charm I always wear. That object became the medium that awakened my ability. My ability doesn't provide offense or defense. I can't fight on the battlefield, but it guides me toward the correct choices. And my chances of discovering rare resources or high-level equipment are greatly increased. I couldn't help feeling pleased. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. The combat ability could increase strength. But luck, that was something different. With this ability, searching for opportunities, discovering valuable resources, finding talented companions, and avoiding hidden dangers would all become much easier. IT was exactly the kind of ability I needed. However, I didn't show too much excitement. That I simply looked at her. You probably noticed already. My vehicle only accepts women, and anyone who stays here must follow my decisions. Can you accept that? Xinyu was not stupid. She had already seen reality clearly. The moment Huang Dihai died, the moment she saw this luxurious temperature-controlled RV, she understood one thing. The man in front of her possessed power far beyond ordinary survivors. She nodded without hesitation. I continued. There is one more thing I'm curious about. If you leave your original group and join my vehicle, what about your previous companions? Xinyu's eyes remained calm. The apocalypse is already difficult enough for one person to survive. I'm not a saint. I don't have the ability to save everyone. Right now, my only goal is to take care of myself and follow someone capable of protecting me. Her answer was direct but realistic, and unnecessary hypocrisy. That I smiled. Good. Then welcome aboard. I opened my arms. Xinyu froze for a moment. Then she stepped forward and hugged me. That moment, Lu Siki completely lost her composure. She clenched her tiny fists and repeatedly punched the back of the seat. Why is everyone like this? She looked frustrated. Everyone in this car is so smart. They all understand what's happening. Only me. I'm the only idiot who didn't see it. She looked toward me with regret. Chao Bei, I really understand now that if time could go back to before the apocalypse, I would never reject you. If I had agreed back then, if I had become your girlfriend, Would I still have to live every day terrified like this? Suddenly, the system announcement echoed across the entire area at the 2 minutes remaining until the mission begins. All participants must gather at the entrance immediately. I looked at the girls beside me. We should prepare. Less clothing will help us survive the heat. The temperature outside had already reached 50 degrees. Without hesitation, I removed my outer clothes. Only lightweight clothing remained. Han Tingting immediately covered her mouth. Her face turned red. Do we need to remove our outer clothes too? Su Yao calmly removed her shirt. Of course. It's 50 degrees outside. If we keep wearing heavy clothes, our bodies will lose energy too quickly. She looked at Han Tingting and smiled. Don't worry. Except for Chao Bei, every other man here probably won't survive the next 6 hours anyway. She said it casually, but nobody laughed, because everyone knew she was right. Soon, the girls changed into lighter clothing. 5 completely different beauties stood beside me. Su Yao was bright and confident. Her personality matched her appearance perfectly. Lin Wanxing wore black. Her usual cold elegance now carried a dangerous charm. Lu Siki kept glancing toward me, clearly trying to attract my attention. Han Tingting looked soft and delicate, completely different from the harsh environment around us. And Shen Yu, a mature beauty with a calm confidence. 5 women. 5 different personalities, all standing beside me. For a moment, it was hard to believe this was an apocalypse. It felt more like some kind of impossible dream. The countdown reached 10 seconds. I looked at the girls. Hold on to me. They immediately understood. Lin Wanxing, Su Yao, Lu Siki, Han Tingting, Shen Yu. All 5 stepped forward, their arms wrapped around me. The next moment, space energy surged. I activated space exchange. The 6 of us disappeared. When we reappeared, we were already at the entrance. Everyone else had arrived. The entire crowd fell silent. Then, chaos erupted. What happened? They appeared instantly. Space ability. Everyone stared at us, especially at the 5 women beside me. Any one of them would have stood out anywhere. But now, all 5 were gathered around. One person got me. The men around us looked stunned. Jealousy was impossible to hide. The women looked at them with envy. Everyone knew my RV maintained a comfortable temperature. Everyone knew my vehicle was different. And everyone understood. Following someone strong meant survival. That moment, I finally felt it. The difference between my past life and this one. I in my previous life, I was weak. I was ignored. I struggled just to survive. But this time, I would stand at the center. I would make everyone remember my name. Fear me, respect me. Or envy me. It didn't matter. The apocalypse would know one thing. Chao Bei had arrived. Lu Siki looked around at the countless eyes staring at us. She quietly asked, Chao Bei, why do I feel like everyone is looking at us strangely? I smiled. They're jealous. She blinked. Just jealous. No, deep down. They're all jealous because they know they want what we have. At that moment, the entrance opened. The mission area appeared ahead. The group entered the Flame Mountain. The moment we entered Flame Mountain, a wave of scorching heat hit us head-on. The air itself felt like it was burning. The ground beneath our feet radiated unbearable heat, and every breath felt dry and painful. After only walking a short distance, Lu Siki was already struggling. She stopped, chest rising and falling rapidly, desperately trying to catch her breath. I can't take this anymore. The temperature is insane. We have to stay here for 6 whole hours. At this rate, I'm going to be completely drained. Even Su Yao, who usually had the most carefree personality, looked irritated from the heat. Chao Bei, do you have any way to get us out of here faster? I shook my head. Earlier, the system mentioned special plants growing here. They can reduce heat and help people survive. We need to find those first. Then I turned towards Shen Yu. Which direction? We were standing at the entrance. Several paths stretched ahead. There were multiple routes through Flame Mountain. Without hesitation, Shen Yu closed her eyes. A few seconds later, she raised her hand and pointed. 3 o'clock direction. My ability is guiding me there. I nodded. Let's go. Once we started moving, most of the other participants followed behind us. They had already seen Shen Yu's ability. If she chose a direction through instinct and luck, there was a good chance it was the correct one. Of course, whether they found resources or the Frost Heart, that depended on their own ability. Among those following us were Shen Yu's previous teammates. They trusted her judgment. that we walked for more than 10 minutes. The heat never weakened. The surrounding environment remained a sea of red rocks and burning earth. Then suddenly, something different appeared ahead. A single plant grew among the volcanic terrain. It looked completely out of place. The entire area around it was dry and scorching. But this plant released a faint cold mist. A refreshing chill spread outward. The moment we approached, the system notification appeared. Special plant detected. Ice crystal grass location. Rare plant unique to flame mountain effect. Rapidly reduces body temperature and releases cooling energy. So this was it. The cooling resource mentioned by the system. But before we could move, a group behind us reacted first. 10 people from the energy research group immediately activated their abilities. Their bodies accelerated. They rushed toward the ice crystal grass. The leader was Zhang Kai. Before the apocalypse, he had been researching rocket propulsion technology. Because of that, he awakened an A-rank ability. Extreme sprint. His speed was 3 times faster than an ordinary person. He was the first to arrive. The moment he reached the plant, he felt the cold energy surrounding it. Finally, something cool. He smiled excitedly. Then he reached out and pulled the ice crystal grass from the ground. For 3 seconds, he was happy. Only 3 seconds. Then, the ground started moving. The soil beneath his feet cracked open. A terrifying sight emerged. Countless red insects poured out like a river. The system immediately issued a warning. Species flame fire ant unique creature of flame mountain lives around ice crystal grass contains powerful fire energy. Warning. Do not allow contact with human skin. The ants climbed onto Zhang Kai's body. Thousands, then tens of thousands. His expression changed instantly. No. A scream tore through the mountain. Flames erupted from his body. The ants burned with terrifying heat. Within moments, the man who had been celebrating moments earlier was completely consumed. His body disappeared into ash. Everyone froze. Nobody dared move forward. The people who had been rushing toward the ice crystal grass stopped immediately. Their faces were filled with terror. Lu Siki looked frightened. She glanced at me nervously. Good thing you stopped us. If we rushed over, she swallowed. I almost caused trouble. But now, the ice crystal grass is impossible to get. What do we do? I stared at the plant. The situation was troublesome. The flame fire ants were not an attack. They were living creatures. My Hongming black hole could absorb energy attacks, but it couldn't simply erase countless insects. And there were too many. I also lacked a large-scale attack ability. However, I needed that ice crystal grass. The heat was already affecting even me. My body was stronger than ordinary people. But the women beside me, they wouldn't last. So I made my decision. First, I used space. Exchange. I moved the girls 90 meters away. Then I activated my ability again. The ice crystal grass instantly disappeared from its original location and appeared beneath my feet. The cooling sensation immediately spread, but several flame fire ants came with it. I reacted instantly. My fist slammed forward. Boom! 3 seconds later, the ants attached to the plant were destroyed, but beneath the ground, more fire ants were approaching. A massive swarm. I couldn't stay. I grabbed the ice crystal grass, then activated space exchange again. My body disappeared. The next moment, I returned beside the girls. Cold energy spread outward. Everyone immediately felt relief. The unbearable heat disappeared. A comfortable chill surrounded us. I continued using space exchange repeatedly, changing positions, leaving the swarm behind. Finally, we escaped the danger zone. Xinyu immediately noticed my hands. The skin had been burned. Her expression changed. She grabbed my hand. Her eyes were filled with worry. Qiao Bei, are you okay? You didn't need to take such a risk for us. We could have endured the heat. Lu Siki quickly nodded. That's right. We really could have survived without the ice crystal grass. Don't get injured because of us. I looked at her, then smiled slightly. Really? Then how about this? You 5 leave first. I'll follow behind slowly. The moment I said that, Lu Siki panicked. Her face immediately changed. No. She hugged my leg without hesitation. Her eyes turned red. Qiao Bei, don't do this. I know my ability isn't useful. I know I don't contribute much. But I can drive. Our team still needs a driver. I couldn't help laughing. This girl, she really cared about her position. I stopped teasing her, then turned towards Xinyu. Try sensing again. Find the direction toward the frost heart. Shinyu nodded. She closed her eyes. The next stage of the hunt was about to begin. After another hour of traveling, we finally reached the deeper region of Flame Mountain. The surrounding rocks were burned red and cracked. The air was so hot that even the view itself seemed distorted. Every step on the ground carried waves of terrifying heat rising from below. Shinyu suddenly stopped. The direction my ability guided me toward. It's here. We were standing at the foot of Flame Mountain, looking upward. The entire mountain range was covered in endless cracks. The land stretched for miles, completely scorched by flames. White-hot steam continuously escaped from the ground. And at the top of the mountain, a massive volcano towered into the sky. Its dark crater looked like the entrance to an underground hell. A beast sleeping beneath the earth. I stared at that volcano. Then I remembered the system warning that once the frost heart leaves Flame Mountain, the entire mountain will erupt. The answer was obvious. The frost heart had to be inside that volcano. I withdrew my gaze. Let's go to the crater. The closer we got, the hotter it became. Even with the ice crystal grass helping regulate our temperature, the heat continued accumulating. The air burned our lungs. Every breath felt like swallowing fire. The girls' steps became heavier. Their bodies were reaching their limits. Then suddenly, a deep rumbling sound came from beneath the ground. The red cracked earth exploded open. A massive shadow rushed out. The moment it landed, the surrounding rocks bounced from the impact. The system immediately displayed information. Creature detected. Lava fire lizard, unique mutated beast of Flame Mountain abilities. Extreme physical defense, flame breath, lava body. A gigantic lizard appeared before us. Its entire body was covered in red volcanic armor. Its scales looked like solidified magma. Hot lava dripped from the gaps between its armor. Its eyes burned like flames. The pressure it released instantly covered the entire area. Before anyone could react, the lava fire lizard raised its enormous head. Its throat expanded. Then, boom, a massive pillar of fire erupted. The flames carried terrifying heat. The air itself seemed to tear apart. It rushed directly toward us. I raised my hand. Humming black hole. A black vortex appeared instantly. The terrifying flame attack collided with it, but instead of exploding, the fire disappeared, completely swallowed. Not even a trace of heat escaped. I didn't waste the opportunity. My body moved. In an instant, I appeared in front of the lava fire lizard's head. My right arm tightened. My muscles exploded with power. Then, I punched directly into its forehead. Boom. The impact shook the mountain. Rocks and lava fragments exploded everywhere. I thought that attack would be enough. But when the dust cleared, my expression changed slightly. The lava fire lizard only moved its head sideways. Its massive body shook, but it stood back up. Its volcanic armor had only lost a few pieces. Its defense was far beyond normal mutated creatures expected from a special beast of Flame Mountain. I didn't want to waste time here. I activated space exchange. My intention was simple. Use spatial power to tear its body apart. But nothing happened. The ability failed. For the first time since obtaining space exchange, it didn't work. A system notification appeared. Target level is too high. Space exchange ineffective. Interesting. This creature had already surpassed ordinary mutated monsters. Its strength was enough to resist spatial abilities. I looked at the lava fire lizard. Fine. If space won't work, I'll kill you with my fists. I charged forward. My fists became the only weapon I needed. Boom, boom, boom. Every punch landed with full force. The lava fire lizard's head, its back, its weak points. Every strike caused cracks to spread across its lava armor. Fragments of molten rock flew everywhere. The creature roared. It tried to fight back, but it couldn't stop me. Point 1 punch, point 10 punches. Dozens of punches. Finally, crack. The final layer of volcanic armor shattered. Its body collapsed under the overwhelming force. The massive creature twitched twice, then crashed onto the ground. Dead. The battle was over. The girls immediately rushed toward me. Xiao Bei, are you injured? They looked worried, but when they reached me, they froze, because behind me, the ground had been smashed into a huge crater, more than 10 meters deep. That was the result of my punches alone. I then absorbed the lava fire lizard's corpse with Hongming black hole. A familiar feeling flowed through my body. Y attributes increased. Body. 104 agility. 102 spirit. 102. I was pleasantly surprised that a single lava fire lizard gave me 2 points of improvement. These creatures were basically natural. Training resources. If I could encounter more of them, my strength would increase rapidly. Flame Mountain wasn't just a mission area, it was a training ground. Just as I prepared to leave the crater, Shinyu suddenly stopped me. Wait, there seems to be something hidden beneath here. Lusiki's eyes widened. Could the frost heart be underground? I shook my head slightly to know there was no cold energy coming from below. This wasn't the frost heart. But Shinyu's intuition had never failed. I trusted her. I stepped forward, then began punching the ground. Point 1 punch, point 2 punches, point 10 punches. The rock layer continued collapsing. After dozens of strikes, the ground sank another 10 meters. Dust filled the air. When everything cleared, something appeared beneath the earth. A dark red system treasure chest. The system notification appeared. Congratulations. Hidden Flame Mountain treasure chest discovered. Everyone looked at the chest. Curiosity filled their faces. Nobody knew what kind of treasure was hidden inside. Shinyu stepped forward. Chao Bei, let me open it. My luck ability should increase the chance of obtaining something valuable. Lu Siki immediately agreed. Yes, with Shinyu's luck, maybe we'll get an even better reward. I shook my head. No. Everyone looked at me. I stared at the treasure chest. A chest buried this deep. Nobody knew whether it contained a reward or a trap. If something attacked the moment it opened, Shinyu might not even have time to react. Her ability was valuable. Her life was valuable. I wouldn't gamble with that. I'll open it. I walked forward. The moment my hand touched the treasure chest, a system notification sounded. The moment I touched the treasure chest, a system notification rang out. Red beauty bond activated. Shinyu red beauty number 04 trigger condition. Mutual understanding bond level. LV1 current skill amplification. 10x red beauty talent. S rank luck original effect. Increases personal fortune and avoids disasters amplified effect. Tenfold increase in personal fortune. I honestly didn't expect it. A simple decision to protect Shinyu, a single moment of concern, had actually triggered the bond. Mutual understanding. That alone proved one thing. Shinyu truly understood my thoughts. Unlike some people, I couldn't help but think of Lu Siki. She had been with me the longest. She always tried so hard to please me and follow my lead. But until now, she still hadn't activated a bond. My current team had grown stronger and stronger. At this point, her milk tea ability was almost meaningless to me. After this mission, perhaps I should consider removing her from the team. With Shinyu's luck ability amplified 10 times, my own fortune had risen dramatically. It had even surpassed hers. I no longer hesitated. I opened the treasure chest. The moment the lid opened, a dazzling golden light burst into the sky. A terrifying sharp aura spread outward. Even the surrounding heat seemed suppressed by that overwhelming presence. Inside the chest, a massive blade quietly rested. It was long and wide. The entire blade was a deep, dark color. Ancient patterns covered its surface. They looked like a sleeping dragon wrapped around the weapon. A cold gleam flowed through the patterns. Even without touching it, I could feel its terrifying sharpness, as if it could cut through mountains themselves. I reached out. My hand wrapped around the handle. The moment I lifted it, a terrifying weight surged into my arm. My wrist tightened. Even with my strength, I barely managed to lift it with one hand. The system displayed its information. Dragon Slayer blade weight, 2,000 kilograms origin. Unknown. I had been fighting barehanded until now. This weapon came at the perfect time. 2,000 kilograms was indeed heavy. But for me, it wasn't impossible. And with my body still improving, using this blade to train my strength would only make me stronger. I stored the Dragon Slayer blade away, then looked toward the others. We've wasted enough time. Let's continue. The Frost Heart is still waiting. As we moved toward the volcano crater, Lu Siki walked beside me, curiosity written all over her face. Chao Bei, that sword earlier, was it really powerful? I ignored her question. Instead, I remembered how she had complained about the heat earlier. You couldn't even handle the temperature before. If you can't continue, stay here. We'll go ahead. The moment she heard that, her expression changed instantly. No way. She shook her head rapidly. There are dangerous monsters everywhere. The fire ants and the lava lizard almost killed people. I don't want to stay here alone. This heat is nothing. I'll follow you. Everyone couldn't help laughing, but Su Yao glanced at her. Siki, you should learn from Tingting. She's scared too, but she quietly follows behind. You keep saying the wrong things. If Chao Bei wasn't so soft-hearted, I would have thrown you away already. Lu Siki immediately pouted. Even you are making fun of me now. Half an hour later, we finally reached the edge of the volcano crater. Everyone looked down. Below us, a sea of lava was boiling. Red magma surged violently. Heat waves covered the entire valley, and in the center of that endless fire, a crystal floated quietly. It was completely different from everything around it. The crystal was transparent, cold, beautiful. A terrifying frost aura leaked from it. Surrounded by flames, it looked like a piece of eternal ice trapped inside hell. The frost heart. We finally found it. Lu Siki couldn't hold back her excitement. Look, that's the frost heart. But before she finished speaking, Lin Wanxing immediately covered her mouth, then pointed forward. Everyone followed her gaze and froze. Near the frost heart, something was sleeping. A gigantic dragon. Its body was enormous. Dark red scales covered its entire body. Each scale looked like hardened lava. Its massive wings were folded behind its back. Its claws were sharp enough to tear apart steel. A terrifying tail covered with bone spikes rested beside its body. The dragon's eyes remained closed. It was asleep. But even while sleeping, its overwhelming pressure covered the entire volcanic valley. A creature capable of destroying everything. Lin Wanxing lowered her voice. Chao Bei, this place is too dangerous. This dragon is at least 10 times larger than the lava fire lizard. Let's give up. Even without the frost heart, we can survive the heat. Xin Yu also nodded. She was worried that I looked down at the sleeping dragon. My mind was calculating that in my previous life, the first 3 stages of the Apocalypse Road were not this difficult. Even someone with an A-rank talent who always tried to save everyone survived for more than half a year. There was no way I would fail here. And there was no way I would abandon this mission. I placed my hand on Lin Wanxing's shoulder. Wanxing, take everyone and leave first. The frost heart, I must have it. Lin Wanxing understood that a true powerhouse could not retreat every time danger appeared. If I backed down here, my confidence would be damaged. And in this apocalypse, a person without ambition could never stand at the top. She nodded. Do what you believe is right. I'll protect everyone and wait for you to return safely. The others also gave their warnings. Their eyes were filled with worry, but eventually, they followed Lin Wanxing and retreated. Once they were far away, I didn't hesitate anymore. I jumped directly into the volcano valley. The moment I descended within 90 meters of the frost heart, I activated space exchange. This time, it worked. The crystal instantly appeared in my hand. I immediately stored it away. Then I used space exchange repeatedly. 0.1 moment, 0.2 moments, 0.3 moments. My body returned to the edge of the volcano. I finally let out a breath. Everything had gone smoother than expected. The only thing I worried about was that the frost heart might be too powerful. If space exchange failed, the situation would have become extremely troublesome. But luckily, it worked. Before I could celebrate, a terrifying roar exploded from below. Ruhr, the dragon awakened. The sound shook the entire mountain. Flame Mountain trembled violently. Without the frost heart suppressing the volcano, the underground magma completely lost control. The earth cracked. Countless rivers of lava erupted upward. The volcano was about to explode. My expression changed. I immediately activated space. Exchanged. In an instant, I caught up with the retreating girls. Move. We leave now. I grabbed everyone and used space exchange repeatedly. Behind us, Flame Mountain erupted. A sea of fire swallowed everything, and we escaped toward the exit at full speed. I kept using space exchange repeatedly, carrying everyone away from the erupting volcano. In just 10 minutes, we had already covered nearly half the remaining distance, but the danger was far from over. The lava at the bottom of the mountain had not completely swallowed everything yet. However, the dragon had already caught up. A massive shadow crossed the sky. The giant creature circled above us, its terrifying pressure spreading across the entire battlefield. I immediately understood. The frost heart inside my storage space was attracting it. The dragon could sense its own treasure being taken, and now there was only one choice: that I had to stay behind, that I had to hold it back. Watching, I'll lure this dragon away. You take everyone and leave as fast as possible. Lin Wanqing understood instantly that if she stayed, she would only become my burden. She nodded firmly and led the others away without hesitation. The moment I moved away with space exchange, the dragon attacked. A gigantic claw descended from above. The force behind it was terrifying. The air itself seemed to explode. That I had no time to activate my ability. I immediately pulled out the Dragon Slayer blade. 2,000 kilograms of weight. I held it horizontally and blocked. Boom! The impact shook the entire mountain. The terrifying force smashed into me. My body was thrown backward like a broken kite. That I flew hundreds of meters before crashing into the rocks. The girls who had already escaped looked back. Their hearts tightened. They wanted to turn around. They wanted to help. But Lin Wanqing stopped them. She understood. The only thing they could do was leave. Only by leaving could they give me the freedom to fight. Keep moving. Trust Qiao Bei. He will come back. The girls clenched their teeth. They forced themselves forward, and strangely, along the way, they encountered no more monsters. The reason was simple. The dragon's roar had frightened everything nearby. Every creature in Flame Mountain had hidden itself. That I climbed out from the pile of rocks. Blood dripped from the corner of my mouth. My expression was serious. I had underestimated this dragon. Its power was far beyond anything I imagined. Before I could recover, the dragon attacked again. I immediately activated space exchange. 1 second, I appeared hundreds of meters away. The next second, the dragon still found me. Again and again. No matter where I moved, it locked onto my position perfectly. I couldn't help cursing. What the hell? Are you cheating? You even have observation hockey now. Dodging, being hit, dodging again, being thrown away again. After several exchanges, I finally stopped running. I activated space exchange. My body rose into the sky. I hovered in midair, facing the dragon directly. If I couldn't avoid it, then I would fight. The volcano exit. The remaining survivors stopped and looked upward. Everyone watched the unbelievable scene. 1 human, 1 dragon, fighting in the sky. Isn't that Qiao Bei? He's fighting that monster alone. The crowd erupted, but instead of admiration, many people showed anger. Of course it's him. He must have attracted the dragon here. He ruined the whole mission. We were almost successful. Their voices were filled with resentment. I ignored them. My hands tightened around the Dragon Slayer blade. Then I moved. Instantly, I appeared beneath the dragon's body. The belly should be its weakest point. I gathered all my strength and swung. Boom! The collision created a deafening explosion. But nothing happened. The dragon didn't even react. Its scales were completely unharmed. I stared at the blade in disbelief. A weapon called Dragon Slayer couldn't even cut a dragon. Then what exactly was I supposed to slay? A lizard? The dragon attacked again. I barely escaped with space exchange. Meanwhile, the lava continued spreading. The entire mountain was becoming a sea of fire. Time was running out. 30 minutes passed. The battle continued. My strength was draining. My breathing became heavier. My body was reaching its limit. But then, I saw them. The distant exit. Lin Wanqing and the others had all reached safety. The burden in my heart finally disappeared. No more worries. No more hesitation. Now, I could fight freely. Above me, the dragon suddenly spread its wings. The entire sky darkened. Its enormous head lowered. Its mouth opened. Countless sharp teeth reflected. The firelight. It wanted to swallow me whole. The next moment, my body disappeared. Everyone watching saw only one thing. The dragon's massive mouth closed. Qiao Bei vanished. The crowd fell silent. Then, someone laughed. Ha ha ha. So arrogant before. Now he got eaten by the dragon. Trying to be a hero? He killed himself. The volcano continued erupting. The lava approached. Everyone began running. They only wanted to escape this death zone. Everyone. Except 5 women. They stood there, their eyes fixed on the dragon. They refused to leave. Qiao Bei, Lin Wanqing clenched her fists. Her heart was filled with pain. Before leaving, Qiao Bei had entrusted everyone to her. Protect them. Lead them away safely. That was her responsibility. She wanted to stay. She wanted to rush back. But she couldn't. She had promised him. After a long silence, she forced herself to speak. "We leave first." Han Tingting shook her head. Her eyes were full of determination. It was Chao Bei who showed me Wang Chao's true face. From that moment, my heart already belonged to him. If Chao Bei really died here, I don't want to continue living alone. My ability is not powerful. Even if I escaped, what meaning would there be? Lu Siki stopped walking. She slowly turned back. Han Tingting was willing to stay. So could she. They both had B-rank talents. And now, she realized something. She had already become unable to leave that man. If Chao Bei is gone, I'll stay here too. Warm tears slid down Lin Wanqing's face. Her feelings for Chao Bei were deeper than anyone else's. Her bond level was the highest. She wanted nothing more than to stay beside him. But she remembered his trust. She remembered his words. She couldn't abandon everyone. She wiped away her tears, then looked at the two girls. Her voice trembled, but her determination was absolute. "Do you think I don't want to stay? Do you think my heart doesn't hurt? I want to go back more than anyone. But we cannot throw our lives away. We have to believe in Chao Bei. If he survives and returns and discovers that all of us are gone, how much pain would he feel? He trusted me. He placed everyone in my hands. I promised him, I will bring everyone out safely. I will not betray that trust." Her words woke them up. Han Tingting finally broke down. She rushed forward and hugged Lin Wanqing. "Sorry, I was being selfish. I'll leave with you." Lu Siki lowered her head. Tears filled her eyes. "I'll go too. I'll follow Wanqing." Su Yao and Shun Yu had remained calm from the beginning. The five women held each other's hands, supporting each other. Together, they walked toward the exit, leaving behind the erupting flame mountain and the man who had promised he would return. The dragon's enormous body slowly circled through the sky. A deep, arrogant roar echoed across Flame Mountain. In its eyes, the human it had swallowed was nothing more than a dying insect struggling helplessly inside its stomach. A creature that could never threaten it. But the dragon didn't know one thing: I wasn't swallowed by it. I entered willingly, using space exchange, and the real battle had only just begun. Inside the dragon's body, it was dark, hot, filled with blood and powerful muscles. The dragon's flesh was incredibly tough. Its outer scales were impossible to break. Its defenses were absolute. But every creature had a weakness, and for this dragon, it was inside. I stood deep within its body. My clothes were covered in blood. My breathing was weak, but my eyes were colder than ever. So your scales are invincible? Fine. Then I'll destroy you from within. I tightened my grip around the Dragon Slayer blade. 2,000 kilograms of weight. Outside, this weapon couldn't break through the dragon's armor, but inside its body, there was nothing protecting its organs. I raised the blade and struck it. Boom. The terrifying impact exploded inside the dragon. The blade pierced deep into its flesh. Golden dragon blood instantly sprayed out, and the moment that blood touched the blade, something changed. The Dragon Slayer blade began trembling, but a terrifying aura awakened from within. Cold light erupted from the weapon. I froze for a moment. Then I understood. This blade could only reveal its true power after being stained with dragon blood. The awakened divine weapon became unstoppable. The dragon's internal organs were torn apart. Blood poured everywhere. Its powerful muscles were ripped apart. The creature that had dominated Flame Mountain suddenly froze. Then, a painful roar shook the entire sky. Roar. The scream caused the entire mountain to tremble. Rocks collapsed. Lava surged. The dragon's pain echoed across the world, but I gave it no chance to recover. Space exchange activated repeatedly. I moved through its body. 1 strike, 2 strikes, 3 strikes. Every slash became stronger. Every attack cut deeper. Every blow was a step toward killing this monster. Didn't you think you could track me anywhere? Didn't you think your strength was unbeatable? Didn't you think humans were nothing but insects? My killing intent continued rising. Today, I'll use your blood to cut your flesh. I'll destroy your pride. I'll end your legend. The final moment arrived. I gathered every remaining bit of strength. Both hands gripped the Dragon Slayer blade. All power concentrated into one attack. My target. The deepest part of the dragon's chest. The glowing dragon core. The source of its power. My final strike. Dragon Slayer. Core destruction. Crack. A sound like the world itself breaking apart echoed. The dragon core shattered completely. The enormous dragon body convulsed violently. Its soul began collapsing. Death was already approaching. But at the final moment, the dragon opened its giant mouth. Using the last trace of its bloodline power, it forced something out. A purple gold egg floated into the sky. The dragon egg, its final child, its last inheritance. The egg released a faint ancient dragon aura, a symbol of a bloodline that would continue. After doing this, the dragon finally lost all life. I didn't hesitate. The dragon slayer blade swept across. The giant body split open. High above Flame Mountain, the 1,000-meter dragon suddenly lost all its brilliance. The flames disappeared. The scales dimmed. The wings froze. The ancient beast that had ruled this place collapsed. Boom. The dragon's body crashed from the sky. It smashed through rocks, destroyed the land, and buried itself among the endless lava. Then, a figure emerged from the broken corpse, covered in dragon blood, holding the blood-stained dragon slayer blade, standing in the sky. Me, Chao Bei, the so-called dragon slayer. My eyes locked onto the floating dragon egg. A treasure like this, there was no way I would leave it behind. With space exchange, the egg instantly appeared in my hand. Then I absorbed the dragon's corpse. The black hole swallowed everything. My body immediately changed. Body plus 10 current attributes. Body, 114, 101 plus 13. Agility, 102, 101 plus 1. Spirit, 102, 101 plus 1. I looked toward the exit, then activated space exchange again and again. Moving forward, this Flame Mountain mission was worth everything. I obtained an ancient divine weapon, killed an ancient dragon, obtained an ancient dragon egg, and gained powerful attributes. The only problem, I almost died doing it. Meanwhile, at the volcano exit, Lin Wanqing and the others had already been surrounded. More than 30 survivors surrounded the 5 women. Cold eyes stared at them. Every direction was blocked. Stop struggling. Hand over the frost heart. That treasure must be with you. Otherwise, why would that dragon chase only you? Give up. Chao Bei isn't coming to save you. He was swallowed by the dragon. Everyone saw it. He's already dead. There isn't even a skeleton left. You are lying. Lu Siqi's face was pale, but she still stood forward. Her eyes refused to surrender. Chao Bei cannot die. The survivors laughed. Cannot die. That was an ancient dragon. How could a human fight something like that? Mortals cannot challenge dragons. He's finished. The voices of ridicule surrounded them. Despair spread. Then, a figure walked out from the crowd. Jiang Bin, the man who had previously been in Shun Yu's vehicle. His eyes were filled with jealousy and hatred. He stared directly at Shun Yu. Shen Yu, I really thought you were some noble, untouchable woman. When we were on the same vehicle, I showed you interest so many times. You ignored me. You looked down on me. But what happened? When you saw Chao Bei had supplies, when you saw his vehicle had air conditioning, you immediately threw yourself at him. You rejected my kindness, then turned around and entered another man's arms. You really are shameless. His expression became twisted. Today, I'll expose you in front of everyone. Jiang Bin stepped forward. His hand reached toward Shen Yu, and the next second, he was about to make his move.